Hello everybody and welcome to episode number, I'm looking it up right now, 128. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I should just do that every single time. I can just open Discord. It's literally like 3 clicks away. Anyways. Yes, we are back after the exciting dreadful session of last time, as I, as a DM, fully experienced the 8th level spell at full effect, and I couldn't do shit. That's just how it is. But yes, anyways, as per the new norm, we'll see how long that will last. One of you guys or the group will do a quick recap, after which I believe Felicia is going to do the question of the day, and then you can introduce yourselves, and then we'll already be jumping right into the session. So, volunteers for the recap.
Well, I could do a quick quest recap, and then somebody could do a recap of last session, if that works.
Sure, that's good.
So essentially, we got hooked onto this Tiamat thing because they were infiltrating religions and politics, and we just walked into that because that's what we do. Find out that they are harvesting souls, which is we didn't like. They're using them to power these war golems. They're using them to build a big weapon that is hidden somewhere. They're using them to, I guess, trade with allies like the Blood Legion, and then mostly they're using it to create a portal from hell to here so that they can do a big invasion. They're invading because of the horn that can wake up one of Tiamat's heads that we are trying to nab first. The roundabout way, we went to the Blood Legion because they know the way into the vault, and then we're gonna figure out stuff after that.
Sorry. Yep. So
Wanted inspiration, so.
What did we do last time? We figured out which direction we wanted to head into the dome. Did some pretty good challenges and stuff to figure our way out into it. Tracked a couple of people that may be interesting and listened into their conversation. Got a little bit of information from them. Got the jump on them and basically annihilated them. They had no chance. However, that did attract attention onto us, which turned into a pretty nasty fight that Fiera just completely destroyed everything in her way. And now we have to figure out what's our next step.
Yo, I'd say that's
That looks like it.
That's pretty much about it. During combat sessions, just combat happens. So, yeah, you'll get a round of inspiration. Especially the quest recap is actually a pretty good idea, because that's kind of more or less the more relevant part of this entire thing. Because I do think after,
Especially if someone was in a void for an undetermined amount of time, you might want to know what's happening. Could be anyone.
Yeah, it could be anyone. Just loosely referencing, not even our group.
Yeah, totally random.
No.
Yeah.
Not like Jade's, missing or anything.
No,
Not that.
Not that.
No.
Definitely
You were gone?
not.
What?
No. Yeah. Plus, if a quest goes on for, couple of sessions, that gets a little bit wishy-washy what the actual objective is. So I think a little reminder now and again ain't too bad. All right, and since everything was in line, I'll say, Felicia, question of the day. What do you have for us?
After that explosive battle, how much do we think attention was brought to us further, and how the Blood Legion's going to react since we just took out a wyvern? I'm sure they don't have very many of those just chilling. So how are they going to respond?
Yeah, that's a valid question. I'm Greg, and I'm playing Ira Spanner, the human artifighter. You know what? I personally think that wherever the big group of them are, or whatever, they're probably like in hiding. I don't think we're gonna walk up and find like them just like at a camp or whatever. They're probably hiding inside of the dome that they've created. So we've probably caused a bit of a ruckus, but we might only have, I guess, shown ourselves off to like other rangers in the area, like those two that we already ambushed. So I don't think we're gonna get immediate interest from like the big group, but it might be maybe a couple waves of rangers or smaller groups like we just fought coming for us.
Yes, hello. I'm Matt. I'm playing Fiera, the one who casts Dark Star. Fun spell. Thank you so much, Matt Mercer, for that. That was fun. I'm glad I was able to do it for more than one round too. That was really fun. But yeah, good question. We're in an anti-divination illusionary area, so it's kind of hard to say what they saw or didn't see. My guess is once we get rid of the dome, then they'll be like, oh, look at those people at our pylon, and none of our forces are there. And we've seen these people before, we know who they are. So I think once that happens, then, you know, the red flags go off, the alarms, but also the world can see them again. So yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be a lot happening, I think, once the dome goes down. And they will hate us even further.
Hi, I'm Skip. I play Isral Leafina, the druid cleric. Yeah, I think they're definitely aware that we're here now. And I think our trek is just going to get more and more and more complicated as we get closer to that thing that puts the dome up. And yeah, I am also of the thinking that we've definitely attracted attention on us, and I don't think we're gonna go very far without being attacked on all sides. So yeah, I expect a lot of weaving and bobbing and trying to hide and trying to avoid, and but yeah, I don't think we'll be able to walk much more without getting just swarmed.
I'm Felicia, playing your favorite padlock, Jade Nightlock. I think that kind of like what Greg was saying is they have like a base inside this dome. I think there might be like the mountain, like where the cliffs were that we were flying by. I think there might be a tunnel system underneath that where they've got this large base and we don't know how to get to it. And I think that they have like access points like throughout this dome where they could quickly dispatch people. So I think that it is going to be significantly harder for us to wander around to try to find what we're looking for. Because they're going to be more aware that we're there. They're going to notice that something's amiss, that their wyvern's gone. I think they also could have used that as a test to see what we can handle. And I think that next time they're not going to send one. I think they will send a few.
Right. Damn. Okay. Well. Just cast a couple of Dark Stars and you'll be fine. Just gonna...
Suddenly, Fiera is 700 years old.
Another one! Yes, we'll see. Pretty good guesses all around. I will add, since obviously your characters will know that, since you did learn some vital information, especially from the two stranglers, which you did, in fact, completely annihilated. Some might even say incinerated, assassinated, or any other words that would describe the total destruction of two individuals' lives. That they were wondering why they only left a few people there, and that one of them wished to have remained at the entrance. So you are very much aware that they are low on manpower in whichever scenario these two were responsible to. So you would know that, you know, you probably don't think there's an army going on, but they did have a wyvern, and maybe they have 3 more. Or the specific number for me to say, but we'll see. And only one way to find out, and that is by playing. So jump right into the intro and get started. Alrighty.
Ilianus, a continent draped in the veil of the Dominators, draconic emperors who ruled the land for centuries. They erected a dome to protect the survivors of a war that brought only disaster. However, 1,597 years later, the veil has been lifted and the Dominators are now dead, leaving the once hidden continent now open to the world. And with it, all waking people suddenly start to feel a premonition of an approaching terror. With the sudden death of the Dominators, the powers of the world have started to shift. Once faithful and loyal believers have now started to question the supremacy of the light. Idle cults start to stir, and power-hungry opportunists see the cracks forming in the once stable foundation of order. But it's the few people who stand against those with ill will that can prevent the chaos from spilling across the land. Much how the tides of disaster once approached with the call of the Holy Blood Legion, who threatened to awaken a slumbering sinner. It was through a few brave heroes who prevented their goals from being achieved. And once again, it's the same heroes that face yet another threat, now led by a chosen of Tiamat, Astyx, who wishes to retrieve an ancient horn which put one of the Dragon Queen's heads in eternal slumber. It's a race which will dictate the very future of how the now unveiled continent of Ilianus is going to look like.
Alright, jumping right back in, you stand at the aftermath of the Dark Star. The Black Sphere has now just dissipated, seeing that the entire ground is left in just a ashy landscape, as even the natural environment has been disintegrated to a basically flat plain. Everything crushed. It looks very similar to what we would imagine the surface of the moon looks like. If you look at one of those moon craters, it's just pure dust, which immediately gets kind of blown up in the air by the strong wind that passes through this valley. And you kind of have to shield your mouth as you start to cough a little bit, as that comes to a sudden surprise. But only this cause of destruction is left in its wake, though the only reason why you can see the dust is because it is flying up. However, it is still somewhat obscured by the illusory grass that is covering this entire terrain. So the trees kind of still stand, which you are still very much aware that those are illusions, but kind of just sifting through and seeing just this kind of somewhat large plume of dust kind of swirling in the air leaves you to believe what the spell has caused. not only to the people who were unfortunate enough to have died inside of the spell, but once again, anything inside of it seems to have been disintegrated.
Okay. Well, that was a good experiment.
Yeah.
Anybody actually hurt?
Frankly, no. Not even a scratch.
Not a scratch.
I did get hurt. I am in pain, but okay. I was able to take care of myself.
Wonderful.
So, are you still in pain?
No, I mean,
Because I've got like 9 health potions at this point. So if you want one, so that you can save.
Well, we're at a crossroads, right? Do we
Well-
rest for a moment, or do we push forward?
I can heal you for 45 health.
I would be at max then.
All right, so I'll go over to you, and I'll just put my hands.
30.
Okay, I'll put my hands on you, and I use my lay on hands, and I'll do heal you for 30.
Okay, good.
Amazing.
Okay, I guess that solves that.
Okay, first things first, everyone just quiet for a minute and see if we hear anything else coming. And I'll just start listening out and seeing if I hear any screeches of potential other flying creatures or anything.
Yeah, can go and do a perception check.
Here, cricket.
Very perceptive, Fiera. Yes, Arik, you ignore the meaningless comment, though you also indeed hear a cricket. But actually, in fact, that is almost about as much as you hear, as it seems rather silent. You don't hear any footsteps approaching you, you don't hear any swarms of other avian or otherwise draconic creatures kind of approaching you, which the wyvern was rather loud, even just its flying form, the flap of the wings do create quite a bit of sound, so you're rather confident that at least in a several mile radius with your keen senses there shouldn't be anything largely approaching you unless they're, you know, well stealthed or heavily prepared to encounter you in a subterfuge way, which you're somewhat confident that that's definitely not the case after witnessing how they usually operate.
So on our map where we are, where Glamour is there, what direction were they coming from when they found us?
It was almost just directly due north of where you were, so also the direction you were already heading towards after you've been scouting the entire southern part of this valley.
So I think we just go straight where they were coming from. Just try to follow, see if maybe there is a path that they were on. Let's just go in that direction. We don't have much else to go on, so.
Right. Yeah.
We know obviously that the trees don't mean anything. So I suppose be on the lookout, like if you happen to find like an actual physical tree, that might be something to.
I'll be completely honest. I completely forgot that trees don't mean anything here, and I was like, "What do you mean?" And then I remembered. Yes, that's right. They're illusions. I forgot.
That's okay. You were hurt. It's okay.
I was useless.
So if you do come across something, you know, tree, bush, shrub, or anything that feels actually real, speak up, but just we're not going to have much cover from anything, so let's just try to go where they were coming from.
Yeah. Let's go.
Alright. I guess, Arik, you can...
Start trying to... Yeah, I'm going to try to, like, find maybe the path of, dirt that got disturbed while they were running towards us, or anything that kind of gives us something to follow.
Sure, you can make an investigation check. Kind of follow the path, since you were already somewhat on a path, which you find, because last time you remember the last trail that led you to those two guys that you annihilated, was that you did indeed find a path. It was a little bit difficult to see because of the illusory grass that naturally covers it, but you did find what seems to have been a trail that was more well walked than the rest of the environment. And then you got the clue that obviously illusory terrain is difficult to navigate, so obviously they must have dedicated paths that lead somewhere, and then you found that one. And you kind of rediscover it, and it seems like it also syncs up with the trail they were coming or using to get towards where you guys are or were. And you just continue following that, and it is still a simple path due north. And it doesn't take long. In fact, only after half an hour, you start to see a little bit of what seems to be flickering firelight in the distance. You would assume from probably a bonfire. You can hear the crackling sound of fire very distinctively, Eirik. You also remember it didn't take very long for them to arrive where you were after you killed the two, meaning they couldn't have been that far. Obviously, the wyvern could be fast, but they arrive with foot soldiers, and they definitely aren't as fast as a flying creature. Meaning, wherever they were posted must have been pretty damn close, and you are confident with the foot trails that you have been directly following, and now also the visual cue on this kind of bonfire that is probably a place where they were resting at. And it isn't a big encampment that you see. You can see several tents that have been set up around the area. There seems to be some sort of stake in the middle that is above the fire. And then another kind of stake where also you are able to see a little bit of red light glowing, kind of illuminating some shapes from the bottom, but you're still a little bit too far away, and the illusory brush kind of obscures some of the form that this light is illuminating. But there are two stakes, one that seems to be a bonfire, and other one where there's a glowing red light on the bottom, and then sprawn about are a couple tents, some of them smaller, like usual ranger camping tents, and one kind of larger setup, almost like war tents that you use for all-purpose needs. A easy setup, to say the least, and that is what you can kind of ascertain as you're still at a distance. You see that you're probably like only 200 feet away from it. Once again, the brush is rather dense, but the firelight you could have seen a little bit further away, but that's kind of where you are, 200 feet away from the light source.
All right, I'll relay all of that to everybody, and okay, we slow down, we take a second here. Quiet. We're coming up on something that could go south real quick.
Does one person feel confident that they could get closer and check it out? See if there are people there? While the rest of us hang back?
I definitely can't. I'm too noisy.
Yeah.
I probably could. Actually,
You can do an animal.
I was gonna say I can summon my my owl once per day for free, so I can perhaps just proof it and ask it to go look around what's going on, and I can see through its eyes.
Perfect. Good start.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll take a minute to poof my owl.
Yeah.
And I'll show it the direction that Eirik told us, and I'll send it over to do a little sweep of what's going on, and maybe just find a boulder or rock that it can sit on, since the trees are all fake.
Yeah.
So it would probably, a normal owl would probably sense that there's no trees, so yeah, I would have it maybe find a rock or a boulder that it can sit on and kind of look around and see what that camp or thing is to give us an idea of the area.
Yeah, I can definitely do that and just make a perception check for the owl, see how much he actually sees.
Oh man. Here we go
8.
again.
Oh no.
It flies over, and it's not far away, so he arrives rather quickly there. And as he's kind of floating above, and you're also peering through your eyes, which I guess you can use your perception.
It's the exact same.
Okay.
It's the exact same.
Then, well,
It's my wisdom, so it's the same.
oh, true, yeah. So as you're peering through, you get the similar layout as described to you by Eirik. However, you do see a little bit more now that you have an aerial view, which is there seem to be 2 war camps. One is behind the other, which from Eirik's perspective he wasn't able to see. And it's kind of nestled into like a little ridge. So there's a natural kind of small cliffside that is there, and it's kind of been nestled inside. So it's a little bit naturally protected by the terrain, but not in any significant way, just, you know, a little bit of extra cover. And you see kind of like open crates and just resources that are probably used for camping. So you can see a pot underneath the fire where there's something like boiling inside. You can also see that outside of one or both war camps, there are crates, there are sacks, there are barrels. You can also see some kind of leather sleeping mats that have been set outside. There's another bonfire that isn't lit as well. And the other thing you notice is there aren't any people directly walking around or visible around the camp, except for now that you're flying above, you have a very, you know, bird's eye view literally on this glowing red portion that Eirik wasn't quite able to identify from his perspective. But being so close, obviously, don't have to roll high to be able to see this, is there is indeed 4 stakes where there seem to be 4 people crucified, and there's a very clear, almost like magical circle underneath them that sometimes, occasionally, pulses a little bit brighter, but very faintly. And yeah, you can see these 4 people. You aren't sure if they're alive or not. They don't seem to be moving. They are, you know, attached to a wooden stake. They're not impaled. They, in fact, remind you a little bit of those penance seekers you found in hell. Those people that had these weird wooden contraption tied to them. Seems to be in a very similar vein, just that they are now stuck into the earth instead of walking around in a blood lake. And that's what all you can see. So you don't see any other people, don't hear any movement. Yeah.
Yeah, I would relay that to my friends, obviously, as I would see it, so that they would know what's going on.
So, the best assumption is that this was a camp where all of them were.
Where they came from.
So, would they have left somebody behind? Would they have left, like, is there other groups of them that use the same camp?
We have to assume that there might be hidden stuff that we won't see until we get there.
Yeah.
We have to assume that there's people. We have to assume that there's traps. We have to assume the worst.
Yeah, we have to secure the area before we can even think about getting those 4 away from that.
And that is if they are still alive, because I don't see them moving.
So let's think for a second. What would the use of other people be for them? Like, to impale 4 individuals and then set up a camp around them?
Their blood. They're probably fueling it though. That's probably it. This is probably the central position. This is probably where they are, the sigil that keeps everything together. Or at least one of the spots.
If we wanted to really try to get in there and, get a really detailed look before we do anything, I still have invisibility, obviously, so one or two of us can become invisible and we can kind of get up there and just actually get a close look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea.
Oh, you muted.
Sorry. I've got pretty decent stealth, so I can go for sure.
Yeah, I've aged a bit, so not it.
I can go with you.
Do you have Pass Without Trace available?
Double check.
If you do
Yes, I
leave, I
do.
can go with as a bodyguard. Yeah,
I
he's
do
actually
have
okay
Pass-
with stealth.
I do have Pass Without Trace.
Interesting. We can be if we succeed.
That would give me a better option to succeed. I still have disadvantage though.
Well, I reckon I could go see, being invisible, and if I do put Pass Without Trace on us on top of that, we would be pretty hard to see. One of us would have to actually, kick someone in the shin for them to see us.
Okay, well, let's do that then.
And-
We're still about 200 feet away, you said, Jack?
Yep.
And
Do we want to have you two move up with us so that you're at least in range of something in case anything happens?
I can message, as long as we're within 120 feet, or I can. Do I have sending? I also have sending with me.
But that doesn't
case of emergency.
work inside of the dome.
Oh right, it doesn't work. Shoot, crap, poopy.
I mean,
blood.
just set up a flare or something.
If we're in trouble, yeah. If we're in trouble, they're gonna know anyways, so we can always listen for the bear.
And you two are
Listen for the
competent, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see here. Invisibility. 1 hour.
Like track
Uh,
Pass Without Trace. 1 hour as well.
Great. I'll cast invisibility at second level on Iserel and I.
Hell yeah.
And I will cast Pass Without Trace around me.
Nice. Alright. Then, probably Ice were first casting Pass Without a Trace, and then Invisibility casted. And you can see that those two basically just vanish. Pass Without a Trace kind of creating a illusory terrain over the already created illusory terrain to make it so that literally nothing moves while you guys are moving, obscuring any foot tracks you would leave behind, making you, at least from a visual perspective, truly imperceivable. And if you guys,
What time is it in the world?
it is
Are we on the
pretty
10th day yet?
Yeah, you would already be in the 10th day because it is currently 2 a.m.
Yeah, okay.
So, Eirik and Iceberg can both gladly make a stealth check with advantage, with +10, as you slowly approach this encampment. That is a 30.
Doom.
Okay.
Okay.
23.
Okay. Oof.
Hey!
Oof.
Yikes.
We have to get you like a chameleon form or something. Something that can just blend into surroundings.
What she has invisibility
I-
as.
I just need better luck, is what I need.
Yeah, so pretty confident that you are not only unseen but also unheard. You slowly approach, and I assume Fiera and Jay, do you kind of hang back or do you want to move a little bit closer to it?
I'd probably want to move a little closer.
I must stay back here, but if I won't stop you.
But I'm not gonna abandon you, so if you're staying, then I'm gonna stay with you.
Alright. Then I saw you approach carefully, getting 100 feet closer, only 50 feet away, and then you kind of pass the tree line and have full visual view over the encampment. You see it as described by Israel, and obviously more things get revealed to you, Eirik, as you get closer. You see the two war camps. You see the two kind of setups of one, which is just a cooking setup over a bonfire. There's a pot, there's something boiling inside. And then obviously the 4 stakes where you can see the distinctive glow. Now you can also very evidently see this very light pulse that happens now and again. And then all around you are tents. And with your passive perception, Eirik, which I believe is pretty damn high,
20.
yeah, you don't hear any movement. So you're like very confident to a certain degree that there shouldn't be anyone within any of the tents, unless once again they are deliberately trying to be quiet and stay out of earshot. Otherwise you would be hearing people walking or rummaging through stuff or snoring if they're sleeping. That is definitely not the case. And with your passive investigation as well, you can see that some things have been left in a disarray, almost as if they left out of quick notice, which probably did. You can see like marks in the ground that indicate someone was probably sitting there and then kind of quickly stood up, and then some of the dust was shaking away, as well as obviously the kind of open stove. It's not a stove, it's an open bonfire with food cooking inside. There's still a kind of a spoon ladle that is sitting inside of there. And some of the tents are also somewhat open, as if someone kind of rushed out of the tent. Just many different things left in the middle of someone doing something that you can recognize rather clearly as someone who works with a lot of utensils. You recognize that.
All right, I'm going to I'll whisper really, really quietly towards Isorel. Does whisper won't break invisibility?
No,
right?
no, what? No, only if you cast a spell or attack somebody.
I'm gonna whisper and just say,
I'm probably like inside your shoes.
it's true.
Really, really close.
I will. I'll just whisper, "Stay here. I'll be right back." And I'm gonna fly and activate the boots and fly, so I'm making even less noise. And I'm gonna go right towards the pulsing light and where the stakes are to see if any of those bodies are moving. Is there any sounds? Is there any obvious like glyphs on the ground or anything?
Yeah. Immediately, yes. You can definitely see loads of glyphs. This is a big arcane circle that is surrounding them. It's about 10 feet radius, so 20 feet in diameter, that is kind of surrounding them. Also very recognizable runes, which you have now seen plenty of times. There's Infernal, but also a little bit of Draconic, kind of mixed, intertwined inside the casting of this rune. You can make a I guess, medicine check to just kind of ascertain the nature of these individuals. There's a 9. You don't know the exact state they are. However, your passive perception allows you to occasionally hear an escaping breath. So you know for sure that they are to some degree alive at least. But now that you get closer, you can see heavy and deep lacerations across the entire body. Cut wounds going over their chests, over the back, shoulders, arms. Once again, they're not impaled. They are more attached to, like crucified, towards a wooden post with a lot of kind of barbed wire wrapped around them, holding them towards the post, as you've seen before, creating even more stab wounds, and obviously the entire body is just dripping with blood. The other thing you notice is, there's a trail of blood that leads directly down, almost as if it's being funneled into this arcane circle below. You can make an Arcana check, as you're kind of looking at this circle a little bit more closely. 13. Still a little bit
Plus 5.
up. 18. Now that you've more or less, the infernal sides are still very, how should we call it, foreign to you, but because of the bits of draconic that are inside of there, you can understand some of the arcana being used here, which is, you can definitely recognize some portions which associate illusion magic, and you can also see other parts that have an innate kind of enhancement property. So there are like specific runes designed to kind of enhance effects with. It's almost like you're looking at a code written there, because that's what magic is. It's basically a code, and then typing specific parameters that can cause the effects, which is that it uses specific material components, which you can very easily gather. Even though it's written in Infernal, those material components that are used, you can put one and one together. Blood is being used as one of the main things that power them. But the more noticeable thing that you are able to kind of glean from this is that on one side of this arcane circle, specifically the eastern side of the circle, almost like a compass, it's kind of on the east, a little bit southern side, there's a more complex glyph than anywhere else around the circle. And you kind of somewhat guess that probably the illusory effect is stronger or kind of focused there. The effect is, globally across the entire area, but something seems to be more focused in this side of the glyph. But you don't quite understand what that necessarily means. And once again, as you're kind of analyzing this, you do hear occasionally you think all 4 of them are most likely alive.
Okay. I'll go back to where I left Isorel and whisper again. They seem alive. They seem to be struggling.
Okay.
Their movement, albeit little, continues to draw blood. The blood is powering the runes. It looks like there's perhaps there's draconic runes, there's infernal runes, and there's one spot that looks more complex than the others. That's probably the key, at least for this little area.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like there's anybody else here. We can risk it all and try to get the others up here and just destroy it all.
Do you think it's safe enough for me to approach these people to make sure that they're, first of all, okay, and maybe look at what's going on with those runes. Since I can read Draconic, I can maybe start figuring out what's going on.
I mean,
and then also we can go back and get Levi, who speaks Infernal.
yeah, I was gonna say I can understand Draconic too, so I could piece together a little bit, but the combination of both together, I'd still be missing stuff. So I do think, yes, it is safe to approach, but as soon as you do anything, right, we're losing invisibility.
Yes. I mean, as soon as we cast spells and stuff, we lose.
Yeah, so if you try to heal them...
Yeah, my goal was not necessarily to heal them. I have healer's kits that I can basically stabilize them and make sure they stop losing blood without necessarily healing them before we figure out what's going on. I think the course of action is go get Levi, try to figure out with those draconic and infernal runes what's written, find how we can stop this, and then after that, I try to stabilize them and heal them later on.
Yeah, definitely don't do anything with them yet until we know.
As much as I want to yank them out of there, I want them to stop suffering. Unfortunately, I think if we try to meddle with it without understanding what the runes are, we might actually kill them or ourselves.
Do you want to go back and get Levi? I can stay up here and see if anything happens.
Yep. I still have Pass Without Trace. You're gonna lose it, so just hide yourself somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay invisible even if I'm not with you, so I'm just gonna go back and get Levi, and
he won't be invisible. That's the only problem.
He won't be invisible, but he'll be in my area, so he'll be a little bit hidden.
Okay, I'll go find a rock.
Okay, cool.
There are plenty of rocks.
And I'll start slowly walking back towards where my friends were to go and get Levi.
All right. Which, has he still have tongues on him?
I cast it right before the battle.
Then yes, he definitely has.
It took 30 minutes to come here, so should have 15 minutes left.
If he needs to, I can.
Yeah, we can cast it again.
Cast it again.
All right. Yeah, he follows you as he must.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
But he doesn't seem too disturbed by now kind of the chain of command. He just kind of goes on with it.
Yeah. And it's not like I'm asking him to actively cut his arm or something. I'm just...
Which probably he also wouldn't be that perturbed about doing that, since eternal suffering does make him a little bit numb towards specific types of pain. But yeah, he follows you, and there doesn't seem to be any major awareness or things to become aware of you. And over the course of Iso going back and then returning, Arik, you're also pretty confident just by staying there. Once again, reaffirming that no one's here unless there's really just an assassin in one of the shadows just stalking, or under a bed lying there to wait for a certain individual to go to sleep. Anyways,
while they're doing all that, can I attempt a short rest since we're just hanging out in the grass?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Kind of take 15 minutes to kind of chillax. You probably, by the time Iso comes back, is around 15 minutes has already passed, since I've expended a little bit of time looking there, and their slow approach also would have taken about 5 minutes. So yeah, 15 minutes definitely have passed when she returns. Yeah, Levi kind of steps up towards you guys. Arik is just standing there, and Though, obviously, a little bit awkward for him since he can't see you guys, as far as I'm concerned, even if he has Devil's Sight. But
No, he can't see invisible.
he stands there at your disposal.
All right, I'll show him the. I'll get to him with Eirik, and then I'll be like, all right, where do we look?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just start. I mean, not that you can follow, but there's interesting. I mean, follow the pulsing light. That's it's going to be pretty obvious where the stuff is.
He nods. You say, all right.
Okay, and I'll go with him.
Okay, and I assume your goal is to further investigate this circle. And if so, you can make an account check with
Yes.
advantage. DC heavily lowered, thanks to Levi, since he can translate some of the
Okay.
parts.
Arcana.
Both of
So-
us.
I'd say one of you can choose if you really did.
Here's 1, and here's 2.
That's a 3, by the way, and that's a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 5.
That's a 5. Yeah, a 3 and a 5.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah.
Rolling under a 10 on the dice, but still rolling above a 20 is still level 15. Yeah, you look at it, and after the information that Ari gave you, you can see more stuffs, and you can also recognize very clearly the innate draconic things, since you are now very well attuned to draconic magic, since that's kind of where you now know you kind of get your powers from. And you can also see hallucinatory terrain is one of the spells inside of here. You can see reminiscent glyphs that you use, obviously heavily enhanced with the material component of blood to an unprecedented degree. In fact, you can also see a combination of major image implemented as well. So those two combined that create sound and even minor sensory effects that kind of enhance the illusion by several steps. The other thing is you can see the limitations of the spell. They have the components to create a big space with illusions, but they don't have enough quote-unquote assets to fill it with, which is what you noticed, which is why you can see repetitions within the illusion itself. And you can see that they had to more or less, it's like in a video game, downgrade some parts in order to kind of fulfill their need. And because they don't have enough components to fuel the spell, is why they had to kind of downgrade the quality of the illusion itself. And you can recognize that very heavily within this arcane circle, knowing that it has the potential to do that, but they don't have the resources to be able to apply that. The other thing you then notice, and that is kind of hidden and woven within the infernal part, and that is what kind of Levi points out, is that anything inside of the circle is paralyzed. So if a person would step inside, they would potentially, get restrained by whatever infernal magic is going on there. And that's kind of what Levi points out. Then gesturing towards the people, obviously that they aren't able to move or do anything as they're stuck towards these stakes. And the other thing is obviously the anti-divination aspects of the spell that are rather big, and that focus point that Eirik pointed out, which you can also very clearly see that it's mostly written in Infernal, seems to be a location-based enhancement spell. That this spell that is applied over this entire valley is even more focused on one specific area, which is located almost like a compass. This circle is showing to the east and slightly southern area of wherever this dome ends. So looking at the map, you would know it's somewhere within the mountains. A specific area has been even heavily emphasized to be protected by whatever magic this spell is causing. So heavy divination and illusory magic to prevent anyone from finding where it is. That's kind of about it that you get. Well, the other thing is there is a method to kind of disable the paralyzing effect.
I
However,
was about to ask.
the 23, you aren't quite sure how that works. There is a way, but you aren't quite sure what the procedure would be. If you would need something or a special spell would, as we said, you aren't quite sure, but you're aware that there is a way. And yeah, breaking it is a pretty powerful spell, but you would also know it only functions when it's fueled, and it has to be constantly fueled to be able to apply this large of an effect. So you would also know it needs a lot of blood. So constant refueling of more or less sacrifices. And other minor detail, but important one, is it needs blood from living people.
Mm-hmm. And the people on the stakes, are they human, humanoid? What are we looking at?
Yeah, looking at them, you can see there are 2 human women. One of them seems to be a little bit elderly, around his 70s, wearing very simple, kind of commoner clothes, which have been more or less torn apart since they don't want the clothes to soak up the blood. So most of them are, they have some remnants of clothing on them, but most of them are more or less naked. And then you have one kind of teenager, around 16 years old, also human. And then last but not least is a half-elf man who seems to be in his kind of mid-50s. You don't see any particular things that would indicate any sort of worthy position, but also hard to tell since they've been draped from any belonging that would indicate a important station or position they would be taking.
Okay, well, we can send a message, get our friends up here, and see if we can learn any more from the the wizard on how to disable all this.
Yeah. I'm wondering if breaking the magic circle is going to kill the people.
Yeah.
The magic circle, is it like painted, or is it like burned, or like how is it made on the ground?
It seems to probably, your best guess is, have been drawn by blood, but since then it's now just an arcane circle, as in the energy and the glow that resides there is just a kind of magical remnant, so just a glowing piece of light.
Okay. I'm wondering if I take something and just start breaking it.
I mean, there's clearly an order of things, of operations here. So if we break something in the wrong order...
Yeah. That's my fear here, that we decide to do it in the wrong order.
Because we can try to break the illusion of the dome. That likely wouldn't break the paralyzed people. It would, like, I don't know. It's just a sequence. I think we do need more minds on this, though. So let's get the others up here.
Yeah.
Segueing us to the others, is there anything Felicia and Fiera would have done in the kind of like 15-half-hour time that I would
15 hours? Yeah, probably.
That's essentially long enough. Do I know how old I am?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I have those notes somewhere. Give me just.
You start opening a book.
Like, hold on. I mean, with elves,
I'm
you
gonna find my
lose
birth
count.
certificate.
That's a good point.
You lose count.
It doesn't help that I lost all of my original notes and all the time that I moved.
Oh, probably not.
So if you give me just a moment, I can find that out.
Where's your artwork? I don't have your artwork. Is it in Roll20?
It should be.
I think so.
It is in Rule 20, yeah.
I remember seeing it at one point, but there's a lot of art.
All right, let's see. View whole file. Okay.
There she is. Show her.
Jade question mark. Okay. Because I'm trying to figure out if you're into your adulthood as a Shatterkai, right? You're Shatterkai?
How long ago, Jack, was the ravine thing? I don't remember how long ago that was. Like, when did my family get destroyed?
Oh, that was when you were like rather young, and then.
Yeah, that was when I was like 3, I think.
I think
Or 5.
a little bit older, so like 3 maybe as a elf, but I believe you were like, you know, young, almost like primary school age, because you know.
Yeah.
But like maybe like max 6 is what I remember as well, and then you spent quite a bit of time within Zunania after that, doing a bunch of stuff.
If I remember well, Jade and Isarel are close-ish in age if you take into account that Isarel has her age sped up by going into the thing with her mentor, but they're similar-ish in age. I believe Jade is a little bit older than Isarel.
Yeah, I think
that's what we did. I think that's right.
I think even a little bit younger, I would say, especially because of the time dilation thing. So you have like in total lived longer, Isarel, in the subjective perceived time for you, while Jade, I think after you're 6, you spent around like 50 years with the what's it called, the Vanspire. So you are like around 56, 60, so not even within your first decade. Not decade, what's it called, century. Yeah, because I don't believe you spent too much time within Zunania. It was like around 50 years.
We'll say for sake I'm 90.
Oh, actually, wait. Hold on. I'm reading something entirely different. I just found my notes, and it says...
Oh, okay.
You were 121 when the attack occurred.
Oh,
Whoa.
I didn't realize I was that old.
Whoa!
Yeah, me neither. That heavily changes things, so maybe we go.
That changes things. 3? 3 to 121.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Because I remember that I did a flashback with you once, and then you were...
Yeah, and I was really, really
You
young.
were really, really... But this might have been outdated because, you know, I took these notes quite a while ago during the process when we tried to figure out how old you were.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a 1 might have sneaked inside. It might have been 12. And then I accidentally wrote another 1. Because I'm also somewhat confident that you were young. So yeah, just say, for the sake, time is wishy-washy in D&D. We see what Pharaoh does all the time. So I guess you can just set whatever age you are now, and I will write it down.
You get to choose your age.
I'll just say that I'm 102.
Okay.
It's a little bit older than what we anticipated.
And let's just say you were 6 when the attack occurred.
Okay.
Oh, that was a while ago.
So, Fear, I'm 102.
Okay. Is that... You know what a teenager is, right?
Yeah, humans age very differently, but yes.
Right. What's that for like a shatter guy?
I age just like an elf. So I'd be like, would I be considered like a teenager in elf years?
You're long older.
Young adult. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 25, 27.
Yeah, almost, yeah, exactly. Late 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. So in human lifespan, I'm mid 20s.
Okay, so you still have your life before you. Quite a bit of it seems. What do you plan to do after this?
That's a very good question. I have always done what I felt like I had to do in the moment based out of survival needs. And I have a lot of knowledge. Ideally, I would want to go back to Souvenir and continue training people that have gifts very similar to mine. Or if I can't do that and I have the option to go back to my home and rebuild my village, that would be the most amazing lifelong dream that I have, is to see that rebuilt and honor my ancestors in those ways and build like a little temple to honor them.
I think that would be a good idea, because that kind of hits 3 venues. You'd be creating something to remember the past. You would be actively doing something to help you now and help people if you could get others like you. And you're creating something that can last into the future. I'm trying to figure out what we should do after this Tiamat business. I don't think it'll probably take a couple weeks or a couple of us at least to figure this out. I don't think stopping an army from invading is, a couple-day thing.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a quick thing.
No.
If I've learned anything about what's been going on so far, I've only been with you guys a fraction of the time. But just from what I've learned, like, you guys have gone through so much. And I'm sure we're barely tipping the iceberg of what's to come.
Yes, yes. But I know that more than anything, Azrael wants to go back to the Fae. Oh, did we tell you? We went to the Feywild. She did tell you, right?
I heard that. I am curious of the Feywild.
You should come with. I can bring you.
I am a little sad that I missed that, not gonna lie.
It was interesting. That's how I got my hair. It's pink. Used to be red. I still don't know how that happened. But yeah, you should come with. I think you could probably learn quite a bit.
I also have a dream that I think it'd be really cool, and possibly you'd learn a lot too, is to go where my family comes from. That's the Shadowfell. It could be really interesting for you to learn.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, unfortunately. Really
I don't know a lot about it either, but I just know that that's where my kind comes from. And shadows are very big in my family, and that's where your magic lies. It could be beneficial for you.
And also dangerous.
Yes, but what isn't
That
dangerous in this world?
Well, true. I guess I'll add that to the list. It might be possible to get there from the ravine. My guess is it kind of bleeds out of there. But yeah, we'll have to return. We still have something to deal with, I assume? Some sort of evil dragon, evil you?
I wouldn't say evil me.
Okay. Angry? Upset?
I just know that this dragon and I have unfinished business. And I don't know what it is. And Zephagus told me that I needed to go back home, that there were answers there to the questions that I had. Unfortunately, Top Hat Guy had other, time frame for me to make that happen.
I am slightly worried about that situation. I saw him disappear, and from your recollection, it sounds like the area he was bringing people to protect stopped functioning.
It's completely gone. I saw my coffin, we'll call it, falling from the sky, and I had to escape. It was not the only one that I saw.
That's the problem. I don't know if you've ever met or talked to any of your alternate selves. Just know it's dangerous. There's a lot of bad ones. There are good ones. But there's all types. And if we're not protected from them anymore, just be careful who you trust. Even if it's yourself.
Okay. Jade just kind of looks at you like completely different now, and she's like in a confused look, like, oh no, should I not trust Fiera? Should I not trust Eric?
I'm just like, good. I think good. That's a good talk. But yes, I've had a lovely power nap. They haven't shot a fire thing into the sky. Let's just.
So we got a short rest in it, Jack?
Yeah, you got a short rest, yeah.
Yes! Those are the greatest things in the world for a warlock.
I know. I have 2 warlockies in my campaigns. So.
2?
Oh. Well, yeah, 1 and another 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and after a short amount of time, Isowell does approach and I guess leads you guys to the camp. Yeah, so Eric, you're standing there once again, kind of chilling with Levi. He's still somewhat just kind of you're invisible.
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah.
Yes. You win every single time. Surprise, surprise. And shortly after, the others arrive.
Okay. We should redo tongues on Levi. Do you have extra spell slots, Ezreal, or should I?
Let me. I can do it. Let me do it. Boop. There it is.
Boop, there it is.
Just
I hope you say that as you cast it.
Yeah,
as
Yes,
part
I
of
do.
combat.
It is my vocal component.
you boop him on the nose.
There it is.
There it
Yep.
is.
Boop.
Oh boy. Wonderful. So we have 4 people staked in a magic circle. What is the goal here? Are we going to try to save
well-
them, or
That's
well,
what
that's
we're
it.
trying
There's
to.
some sort of order of operations here. If we take
Yeah.
the wrong thing down first, we might completely kill them. If we take another thing down, we might disrupt the entire illusion around us, and everything is exposed without us having planned for it. So one way or
Okay.
another, there's pros and cons to both directions. Do we go and try to save them and see if maybe we can talk to them while the illusions are still up? We're gonna stop the blood from feeding the runes.
That would be step one.
So that means we have to save them. Because the blood is
It would
coming
be-
out of them.
Nice to know where they came from, so we know where their supply is.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least
Yeah,
they
so-
can hope maybe they can tell us the journey they were on, information about who was here.
I'll take a minute to
Also,
tell Fiera
Inferno?
like everything that we found, Levi and I, about like the stuff, the runes and all that, so that since I know you know magic circles better than me, so I'll just dump that
Well,
information to you.
Thank you. I'm really curious who's giving them the information to make these runes. Who are they working with from Avernus, I assume? What sinners? I mean, oh god, boy, what was his name? The guy we summoned in Lazula's lovely place. No.
Nope.
Helcal?
Nope. Xil
No,
Akasa.
Yes. Yes.
Silicasa.
So,
And I'll go to Levi. Do you know Silicasa, Levi? Ever heard of him? Prominent blood magic user.
You must recognize that most of our kinds are. You don't know every human, do you?
No, definitely not. I believe he was under Adam's army. Oh boy, that was from a long time. I think it was Adam's army though.
That doesn't really
Sounds right.
lower the number.
Of course. Well, yeah, they could be working with a number of people. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll crack my knuckles here. So we want to save the people and deactivate this. Can we just take them out, or can we even enter the circle?
Nope.
no, you'll get
point
if you
towards
try
the
to-
paralyzed.
Yeah, you'll get
Paralyzed.
paralyzed if you try to go in there.
Well, okay, no, I'm not gonna. I mean, I have ways to protect myself, but that's fine. Yeah, I guess can I figure out how to, without the spell magic if possible, but do we just dispel everything?
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check, of course. You can get advantage because you know Levi's still here. Kind of.
Okay. I'm just a little foggy, but I should be able to figure something out here. Who needs Levi when I roll in that 20? Oh, it didn't come over? Isn't that 20?
No, 'cause- yeah, you
did you roll with
you
advantage?
did with advantage.
Yeah, it doesn't show when you
so
do
it
that.
doesn't.
Oh.
It doesn't
Well,
show
I
what
got
is
a
here.
35, Jack. Is that high enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
It does show in D&D
Yeah,
Beyond.
I
Yeah.
can see it
Not
too.
on Roll20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the unfortunate part. There's like something greater, funnily enough, with a natural 20 that you are able to ascertain, which is, yeah, you can somewhat gleam over the procedures and stuff like that of how you could technically go about of dismantling it. And one of the ways to dismantle or deactivate this is obviously take away the battery. But as with, you know, any electrical circuit touching the wires
Rebound.
can be dangerous depending how you do it. However, one thing you're very keenly aware is this paralyzing effect is coming from this infernal magic, which is directly dark blood that is kind of powering this, that gets kind of siphoned out from the blood from these living people. But as far as you are aware, you should be immune and unaffected by Dark Blood's effects. So, by theory, and what you hope, if Artisan did actually, did his due diligence with the wish he granted, you should be able to just kind of go inside and should not be affected by the paralyzing effect and then take them out, which would immediately, well, maybe not immediately, but slowly disable the magics as the battery in its main magic source or power source gets taken away.
Okay, so I've unlocked this. If we all four go to each staked person, there is a sequence we have to do, and then we should be able to take them out. Very simple. Put your hands together, put them up, grab them, and then take them out. We're not affected by the paralyzation.
Yep.
Very complicated, I know.
Alright, do you all do that? Do you all do the YMCA dance before you take them out?
I'm down. Jade did pick up a dancing book.
Oh.
Okay.
Dancing, cooking,
What else?
hitting people.
Hitting people.
Many talents.
Yeah.
It's a very big book, that hitting people in. Yeah. Picture book, actually.
As we go towards the circle, I want to kind of slow down and watch everyone else go towards the circle first. And I'm just gonna.
I'm walking straight through it on the other side.
You're gonna walk through it. Well, yeah, well, you have to walk past the stakes, I guess, if you want to do that. So you have to squeeze your way through the bodies, which is a little bit awkward. You can do that if you want.
Yeah. Just to ease everybody else's tension.
Yeah. You step inside immediately as your foot kind of goes over the invisible cylinder that would be created from the outline of the circle itself. You can see a brief flash, but a light gets almost like sucked in, almost as if there's a black hole that is sucking it in, and turns into this very deep golden hue. One that's very familiar, that is kind of surrounded by almost like black void, shadowy shapes, as is kind of fueling this golden flame. A flame very reminiscent of the ones you saw within Artisan's chambers, these dark light flames. As Fiera steps inside, and it kind of seems to cover her body, illuminating a little bit as she steps inside of the effect.
Boy.
And as you do so, you don't feel any paralysis or whatsoever go over you. Instead, you're just kind of washed over. You have this light kind of aura of darkness, but in this shimmering golden hue that is kind of sticking towards your skin. Kind of like a reverse light, as you have seen before, this kind of dark light magic work, and you can feel the intangibility a little bit as these dark flames go over you.
Watching her do that, if invisibility hasn't dropped already by the time, I'll just drop it so that we're if these people are savable, they're not going to be shocked when when they're being like carried by an invisible person.
Yeah.
So Isorel and I are visible again.
Alright. Then I assume also Jade and Isorel, you'll do the procedures.
Yep.
And start to take them off. And once again, as each of you kind of step inside to reach towards the people, you also see the same effects wash over you. There isn't anything necessarily physical about it. You just feel kind of the temperature around you get a little bit cooler, gets colder as the innate warmth of the light that gets produced naturally gets kind of sucked away. And once again, these dark light things, though it has this golden core, it does the opposite of what light does. It kind of sucks in light, and so the space immediately around you is kind of a little bit dimmer, a little bit darker than it usually is. as the red glow that gets created from the arcane circle gets kind of drawn in. And especially for Iso and Eirik, this feeling's very familiar, because you guys decided to pray in front of the effigy of Assassin that there's some sort of blessing kind of casted upon you as you are feeling very well protected from whatever magic is currently coursing through this magic circle. And with that, you have no problems of retrieving these people. You have to kind of snap off some of these barbed wires that are wired, or have them wired towards these wooden stakes, but with the tools you have is easy enough to do, and one by one you are able to retrieve them. And as you do so, each person kind of gets taken off the stake. You can see the blood dripping from their feet every time it splatters onto the rune. It kind of faintly glows up before dissipating. And as they are taken out one after the other, you can see the rune of this arcane circle slowly diminish, kind of fading away very gently. And as that happens, you can also see flickering around you as the trees kind of almost glitch for a moment and then also slowly just disappear in a similar fashion as the arcane rune. And then suddenly all around you, as the grass disappears, the trees, the brushes and the bushes, you are then left open in this big vacant valley now flanked between two mountains, which you can just barely see with the glimmers of moonlight being casted by the fragments of what is left of the moon, just kind of silhouetting the edges of these large rocks. But all around you, you can see minor cliffs going in and out, small hills that are weaving in front of you, but now the entire space is openly exposed. And kind of now sitting a little bit nakedly is this little encampment that was built within this illusory forest, now very, very clearly visible. And as soon as that happens, Fiera, you get a ping inside of your head as the sending stone gets activated, and you can hear Xenafor's voice inside of your head and says, "Okay, we have contact again. We have seen a large field get destroyed. I assume this is your doing. Please let us know. If you need reinforcements, we are available."
Yeah, so before I respond to that, I'll let them know. Yep, they can see us now. She's wondering if we need reinforcements. Can anyone see trouble nearby, or are we okay?
I'll fly up a little bit and take a
Quickly?
Yep.
Alright, you fly up, make a perception check.
I'll send my owl to check with him.
Alright, then you get advantage.
I mean,
22. Alright, yeah. Immediately around, but you do see a couple of folk, maybe like 3 miles away. And you can see them because they're like carrying torchlight, but they seem to be running towards the mountain in the east. They don't seem to be approaching you. It might be like 5 people or so that seem to be running away.
Okay, come back down. So there was probably a lot more people here at this camp than just the ones that we fought. It looks like they scattered. Some came to us, some went in the direction of the mountain. So them knowing that we're around probably started their ticking clock.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But they're running away. It doesn't look like anyone's running to us.
Look to Levi. I'll give you a choice. Would you like to hunt them down and let them know that they made a mistake by becoming our enemies? Or would you let them leave?
I have no quarrels with them.
Okay, very honest. Alright, well, then we don't need reinforcements right now. Next step is to head toward the mountains. What should we tell Cinnifer? That she should join us?
Yes.
I think the more we are, the better it is for us. The safer we will be.
And it should be her with her scythe. Okay. So we undid their illusion. What else can we tell her?
We've saved 4 people.
Oh boy. We can't watch them. I wonder if... Oh, I could send them back to Sunir. In 15 minutes. Because I don't have that prepared. I could. Yeah, okay. So we undid their illusion. Sending victims to Sunir. They're in the mountains. I know I don't know the name of every mountain. Do I know the name of that mountain to the east?
As far as you're concerned, it doesn't have a particular name. It's one part of the many mountain ranges that belong to the Winged Alps.
Okay. Eastern mountain likely has their main base. After rest, could use your help. There, okay. We undid their blood illusion, sending victims to Sunanir soon. Eastern Mountain likely has their main base. Going after rest. Could use your help there. 25.
Alright. Then... yeah, you have right now the 4 people here in front of you, and they seem to have immediately dropped unconscious as they were kind of taken out.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
KO.
I will, if possible, use some of my healer's kits that I have to make sure that each and every one of them is stabilized and sure to survive whatever is happening right now.
You can definitely do that. You can use 1 charge for each of them, so there would just be 4 charges, and then basically preventing them from continuously bleeding, because they would probably die if those wounds were left unchecked.
Okay. I need to buy more healer's kits, but it was worth it.
Bring healer's kits.
Yes. But yeah, I would definitely make sure that, they stop bleeding actively and profusely to make sure that they survive.
Yes, definitely.
For now.
And that will, take a little while, so in that time, you can definitely take another short rest. And it's, as well, you kind of using your time. Do that anything specific from Eirik or Jade that you would like to do?
Nothing for me.
Can I go and I want to just inspect the stakes they were on to see if there's any other, information carvings on them specifically or anything?
Sure, you can make an investigation check.
Can I help him with that since I'm not specifically doing anything
Sure.
to give him advantage?
Yeah, definitely do that. That is a 27. Yeah, looking at them, there seem to be words, obviously, but you can see they have a, somewhat darker coloration. You get the sense that they probably have been soaked in blood.
Yeah.
You can see like some infernal etchings, which are more or less words, as far as you can tell, and can easily ask Levi to kind of translate it. And it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo kind of cultish jargon that is kind of written all across to kind of make them a little bit more ornate, almost as if these are like kind of, what's it called, like holy vestiges of some sort that they have kind of been decorated with, you know, the propaganda of what the Blood Legion, so, you know, all hail the Bloods, and blood will free us of our sin, salvation is due, and stuff like that. It's kind of written all across. More of a ceremonial thing, less of a that does anything practical. Though, you know, faith and ceremonial aspects do contribute to certain magic uses. So it might have something to do with it, but as much as you can guess, it's more like just a kind of way of spreading their beliefs. So the stakes themselves don't seem to be all that interesting. It's wood, soaked with blood, everything you would expect from a blood cult to do.
Yeah. Okay. So how much time do we have here? We're waiting. Someone was taking a short rest.
Yeah, it will take me. Well, how long does teleport circle take?
10 minutes, something.
Takes me 1 minute. So I just need like
Oh, wow.
15 minutes plus 1.
Okay, so in that time, I'm going to start going tent by tent to see if there's anything interesting in the tents. Supplies, tools, evidence of stuff. Evidence specifically.
Okay.
Paperwork, sort of, you know, stuff that might show who was here, what they were trying to do.
Where's the test design? Arch vault.
Yeah.
Location of every weapon ever in their possession.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely make an last investigation check to kind of rummage through here and kind of, I believe Jade will just continuously help you.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. Inspiration.
Oh.
No, you have advantage.
You have advantage.
Oh, I have advantage.
I'm helping you.
because of
I'm
help.
helping you.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow,
There you go.
28.
There you go.
Yeah, here a lot of sacks and crates and stuff like that, but these seem like general supplies, which, you know, humanoids need to survive, so there's food and stuff like that, but you can see many of the crates are empty. There are only like scraps inside, so you get the sense they were like kind of running low on provisions of kind of staying outside of here. You can also see just equipment, you know, these kind of rummaged pieces of metal that have been taken from other a variety of different armors that they have salvaged to, you know, build their own armors. Now you can kind of see where and how they've kind of made their weaponry, since they seem to have had the ability to kind of kidnap people. As you can see, the different types of armors that they must have gotten from, you know, taking them off random people on the street is the best you can assume. Which would definitely explain the patchwork nature of their current equipment that they're wearing. Going through the tents in the war camp specifically, this seems more like it's like a larger tent for multiple people to just sleep inside of, kind of like a temporary station. However, in one of them there is a table, and you do see kind of one note that has been kind of stabbed with a dagger, and on it does say, "Hold them off as long as possible. We will guard the entrance, and hopefully Olf Friedrich will have calmed down until then. We need more blood sacrifices to keep the dome up, but we are running low in order to satiate his hunger. We won't be able to get more while the Fate Weavers disturb us. Take them out." And then it is signed by Saint Alberstein, and I will just yeah. That is...
All right, I'll take the note and the dagger.
You can definitely do that. This is also in writing, if in case you want to reread that, though I believe it's pretty obvious. And yeah, but don't find anything special. They seem to be low on resources in general. Most of it's food, which also the kind of open pot that was left here is just food that they've been cooking. Seems to be some sort of stew made out of probably local game they were able to catch here. So really kind of shrapnel pieces of everything, desperately trying to survive.
Interesting.
I'll head back and here's the note. Here's the thing.
We've officially entered the place where our name is put into notes to be.
Yeah. That's
be-
unsettling.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are confirmed that Haraldson is at the same location as Alfredrick, but he's more of the. Sounds like the front door guard.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a demotion.
Yeah.
And that the Alfredrick is hungry and angry. That is. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I
Couldn't
mean,
tell you.
he's hangry, which is bad.
Did you just invent that word?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. First time.
Yes.
Said
Yes.
in Chaldeus ever.
Yes.
Angry.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what's their goal? Oh, to take us out. Okay, yeah, it's very simple. Okay, well, I'd prefer not to fight them now. I used some resources to experiment with that group earlier. And how far is the mountain from here, Jar? Oh, I can measure.
You
I have
can.
doohickeys. Well, I guess, yeah, where?
We made it about that far in a day.
So they're about a day away.
Yeah.
Rough, on foot.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Then tomorrow I don't know how we're going to sail it, but we'll figure that out.
I love that they're scared of us.
They should be. Honestly, I don't know what they can know about us, though. Because the first time we met, well, the commander, we were pretty much children. And he was a very intimidating big figure who cut off 2 fingers. And the second time we met him, we had to run for our lives. And without Zeph, guess we'd be dead. So what do they really know about us?
Good question.
We get to give him a lesson, I suppose.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna send these 4 over. Can you message Cinnifer once I've finished to make sure they get them? Or
Yes.
do you have sending?
Yeah, I do have sending. Yes, don't worry
Okay.
about it. Hold
Wonderful.
on. Let me just. I say
And
that.
they're stable?
Yes. 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 Yes,
Okay.
they're all stable. They're all stable. They should survive the.
They might throw up, you know.
I mean, like I said, they will survive. I'm not saying they're in good shape, but they are alive and they will survive.
Wonderful. Okay, well, I don't really do it that way. I'll cast the spell and ink will fly out and draw its own circle.
And soon enough, they vanish and disappear. I assume Icewear then sends the message.
It's probably counting words.
Yeah. Did we want to wait for them to join us?
I need to rest, so
Okay.
Counting, very important.
Okay. Okay, so I will send, and it's 24 words.
Nice.
Isorel here. Did you receive the victims? We will be waiting for you to join us. We'll be resting at the camp we found.
You immediately get a response. Copy that. I resume the usual place they will appear. I send people to their tower to pick them up. We'll be with you in a minute.
They're coming, so shouldn't be too long.
And then
And I assume you sent them, Fiera, at the magic circle in Suna near where we usually end up.
That was the plan.
Okay, cool.
And only a couple of seconds later, you see a kind of pinkish glow appear around, like only 10 feet away from Eirik. And then all of a sudden, you just see appearing in a space 8 individuals. You can see heavily armored elven guards with long draped cloaks with halberds attached to them. You can see 7 of those, and then you can see one now more equipped in field type armor, but very tight leather armor as you've seen her in the first time. Also a kind of darkened cloak around her with a kind of folded weapon on her back that she kind of is semi-obscured, as well as you can see 2 blades on her back poking out of her cloak as Xenophor there appears with those guards. As reference, the guards look a little bit like this. Unfortunately, I don't have a map of Xenophor, which I would have liked to have done, but I don't. But you have
a map of Xenophor?
Oh, a map of Xenophor is what I wanted to do.
Oh, they look beefy.
And
Yes.
Nice.
you would have seen them
Nice.
occasionally. These are
Wolf Battalion.
as one of the 5 battalions of Azathian main military, and they're a heavy infantry units that you've seen in Sunania occasionally, and especially during the kind of escalation of confrontation between Canaan and Azathia, when you went to the Isthmus crossing, and they were kind of bulking up with soldiers. You would have seen a lot of them around, and they're also stationed within Del Solis as well. They are like the main kind of functioning infantry, and they're like soldiers. So they are, not just your typical towns guard. They are veteran fighters.
Actual
Exactly.
soldiers. Wow, I can't speak.
And they appear there, and you can just see how Xenophor kind of steps out and says, well, I knew my trust in you would never be disappointed. Great job. I guess we will be under your command for now, since you probably know a little bit more than us at the current moment.
Sort of.
So there is a magic circle right over there. We did not deactivate it per se. I would not advise anyone to go in there because you get paralyzed and your blood gets drawn and it reactivates the dome. So I would stay away from that.
Right, well, you're here there. Don't step there. That's good to know. Are you in need of any assistance? You seem to be rather well.
For now, we're healthy. We do need to rest. We badly need to rest. And then we can keep going.
Very well, then let me and my men set the perimeter to kind of secure the area, and then you can make due and rest as you see fit. And whenever you're ready, we can start this excursion. Right, fan out, you know the procedure. You can see the men just kind of salute and start setting up a slight perimeter around. Well, you already have a camp
So they just kind of start to
Yeah.
set up there. And they also, some of them have heavy backpacks, and some of them also, instead of a halberd, have a sword or a longbow on them. There seem to be different types of these soldiers, kind of equipped for different scenarios, as they start to set up a minor barricade.
Oh, and watch the sky too, just in case.
Don't worry, they are trained. They don't only look on the sky, they also listen underground. You never know what's gonna happen.
Okay, yes.
we just felled a wyvern about that way. So
A wyvern. Right, well,
yes.
I'm not entirely
That they experimented on with blood magic.
Very well. I don't necessarily say that we are specifically equipped to deal with that, but I would hope that... Well, we are somewhat
What's
equipped.
that?
Yeah. Yes, well. They are trained in fighting demons, so I don't think there's anything worse than that.
Oh, okay.
And... From your experience, I think demons are still the worst thing to kind of have encountered by far. For now, yeah.
That wyvern was nasty, but with that freaking black hole
I
that
mean, yes.
Fiera
It looked
did,
amazing.
it was like, to me, it was like watching a show.
Well, with no sound or sight.
Yeah. Just watching
Yeah.
a black dome.
Yeah.
Yeah, then as they set up the perimeter to kind of secure you a safe space to rest, that is also we're gonna take.
I go to the big tent.
Our break. Sure. Fiora takes the
Can't
big
stop me from taking a
tent.
rest, Jack. You can't stop me.
Alright, so we'll continue here after a quick break, and we'll see you guys then. Peace. And we're back. Cutting right in as Fiora is dashing towards the biggest tent. There are luckily two, so pick and choose. And they're big enough to house like 10 people. So
Oh. I close the door after I go in one.
Jeez.
yeah, so unless you wish to do anything specific during kind of your rest, you can let me know.
Check my
Now.
to-do list. Oh, boy. The problem is I need the longest. I wish I was an elf. I could just rest after 4 hours and have 4 hours to do something. That'd be great.
It's so nice being able
Next
to rest
time.
like that.
Next time.
Wait. Okay, if I died, I could have Azrael bring me back
I don't.
and try to roll for an elf.
Revivify and hope you become an elf.
Okay.
Oh, my-
Resurrect.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
my.
Just so I can get 4 hour long rests.
Holy shit. That's the
That's worth
ultimate.
it, right?
That's the ultimate min-maxer strategy if your DM didn't allow you to pick a race. You're like, well, check this out, bitch. It
Yeah.
just starts doing killing themselves.
Jesus.
That's a genuine strategy, though. It's now that I'm thinking about it, it's like there's like nothing that says you can't do that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try. Fury has done this a lot. I'm gonna try to pray to Shivra and Basilius Vakarian because I swore an oath to both of them. So we'll see who's listening, if either. But I'm not gonna do it like you normally. You know, you go to church, sit down, meditate, that kind of thing. I think I'm gonna try to do it my own way because I'm trying to veer away from normal religious practices now that I've kind of learned that what's real, what's fake, you know, the gods are either listening or they aren't. So I think I'm just gonna get into like my meditation pose kind of thing, where I go into contact other plane and just start speaking out loud, starting with the what would we read? The prayer. The I found in Meldor's dungeon. I have it
The
somewhere.
Vile Blood prayer.
Yeah, that one. So I'll start by reciting that and say how I'm, the eyes of Shivaroth and the sword and shield of Blemished Guardian. And then I'm just gonna start talking to them like I'm talking to parents, recounting things, talking about Eirik, Izrael, and how Jade's back. How I want to help all three of them, with whatever future plans they have, and going to the Fae and figure out the tree, helping Eirik with his family, and helping Jade with her family, and getting back to the ravine. How I hope they know I'm trying not to do bad things. I go into that thing where I'm trying to like justify what I'm doing, of like I'm not trying to release Tiamat so she destroys its divinity. I'm trying to empathize like I think my dad would. And I just keep talking for probably like an hour, like a kid to their parents.
Yeah. Definitely what I will. Sure, make a strict intelligence roll.
Oh boy. Come on, inspiration if I need it. I got a lot of stuff. I got it all. I'll take it. Oh, I guess I'm tired. That's fine. 14.
Yeah. You kind of go into your own mind palace that you've built over these kind of stressful times, and it's kind of your escape place during those stressful times. Kind of, well, relax and try and perceive things from maybe a other perspective, or hone in on the perspective that you've kind of built yourself.
Yep, try to understand other perspectives.
Yeah. And you have only, as far as you're concerned, the only notion you've gotten that you have tapped into the general awareness of what you believe Shivaroth is. And only, similar when you try to contact the archdevil from the plane of nature, that there is something just much larger at scope, where your mind itself is difficult to comprehend even the concept of such a being. And a few fragments that you remember where you came into contact with Shivaroth, especially when you did this prayer for the first time, how you were caught in this kind of time loop, where just the mere exposure to whatever presence that is has, in quotation marks, taken away 8 years of your perceivable life. And whether it's a good or a bad thing is obviously point of perspective, one of the perspectives you obviously think about. As you're talking out into your mind palace, you don't get anything necessarily back, which you also kind of realize that these beings, if you can even call them beings, are more akin to concepts, very abstract for human minds. They don't fall under the placid categories of good or evil, or having specific powers per se. They are the very embodiment of something. And if Shivaroth is indeed the embodiment of time, then you can't even start to imagine what a being like that would think, what a being like that would do if you do talk with it. Whether or not language is something it needs, not necessarily understands, but, the same way how ants communicate through pheromones, it is something utterly abstract and kind of useless for a human to know, other than maybe trying to understand how ants function, while which most people don't. So you do are very much aware of this disconnect. But at the same time, you do kind of just feel this innate instinct, though you get no feedback. It's more like a self-confirmation of if something is truly that grand, they are ever-present, everlasting, everywhere. And we're talking specifically about Shivaroth and Basilius Vicarion, who's supposed to be one of the creators. A creator, one who created the Archdevil, and you weren't even able to comprehend the thing that this creator created. So even a step beyond that is still, for your mind, intangible in every conceivable way. And so it's even more stranger to kind of now slowly gain the knowledge that they have somehow disappeared. How anything could have caused that potentially to happen. As you've started to hear, rumors that the gods have disappeared, but how could something so big, so large, and so inconceivable ever disappear? And that's why you kind of stop lingering more of like what could have caused that, or maybe it was their own choice. And at the same time also, what were the sinners to be able to even have posed any sort of threat that they have survived up until now to have ruins tell the story of their kind of uprising. So you just kind of murmur along in those questions as you kind of speak out to them. And I think that kind of takes quite a bit of your time away during your meditation. Alright. I guess anything from Eirik or Iswell?
I'll go into my own tent since there are tents aplenty.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take out the Stone of Memory, and I'm gonna start playing around with it and seeing, if I can. I'm gonna activate it again and watch the memory to see if anything is different from the last time that I looked into it earlier today.
True. Sure, you can kind of look into it, and you get the exact same memory played back. It's like you are playing a video over and over again. It seems to be the exact same. The images you see are the exact same. Fragments of, seeing these individuals, scholarly types, kind of telling or educating. You see a classroom of younger dryads or Eladrin, and a professor kind of studiously speaking in Sylvan, and then these flashes of faces that you see, and then always a name that gets placed with them.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I wrote down that I had 2 memory stones that I found.
I believe so. I don't know if you because you gave one to Vakzahi.
We had found one the first time.
Yes.
And that was the one that we showed him and then we gave him. And then on my way back, you said that I found 2 stones that were connected by a rope.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And then you gave him a little figure instead. You didn't give him the stones.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I asked him to keep the stones, and I gave him the figure instead.
Yes.
So does the second one have something different in it now that I know how they work?
Yes, most definitely has. And I assume you replay that then.
Mm-hmm.
And you immediately get the sense that this is like kind of a precursor video, if you so will, because it starts off with very similar images. Once again, you're in this schoolroom, but it's empty. There's a professor that's there alone, almost as if it's like talking one-on-one with a student. Once again, you seem to be taking on like a POV perspective of whoever is capturing this memory. You hear occasional words, but in Sylvan that you unfortunately don't understand, coming from this teacher. You can see that they point towards this chalkboard behind them made out of living vines and branches. You can see small mouths that sometimes appear on them that kind of sing, start to hymn. Feywild magic's going on. And you can very clearly see that there are depictions, seeds drawn, roots growing, trees. You can see different types of trees drawn there. And you can very clearly see that these trees are drawn in a way as you have seen the Dryadalus symbol was drawn. And the professor, or this kind of more scholarly looking individual, seems to kind of emphasize on the kind of process of planting seeds, of a sapling growing out of it, and then some sort of connection being taped together. And you can only understand it just from the kind of visuals that you are given, as you're not able to understand what words he's actually speaking. And then after that, you can once again see flashes of other faces that kind of get also lined with the names you would assume with that. And then you would see that later then the image kind of transitions out back into an open courtyard where you can see a gathering of people, almost as if that's like a, not necessarily concert, but like a small stage where you can see the people whose faces you just saw standing, almost as if they're like giving a speech. You don't hear the speech, you can just see the people one by one stepping front, seeming to be talking about something, and then the vision kind of slowly fades away again.
So any words that popped up, I'm gonna watch it like I'm gonna watch both of the stones over and over again, and any of the words that pop up, I'm just gonna write down, copy down any information about the faces that I see, basically just writing down what I'm witnessing so that I have a physical record of the memories. And I'll after that I will take out the 2 stacks of paper and leather that I bought a little while ago, and I'm going to start just sewing the papers together to start making a couple books. Just, thread and very simple bookmaking skills while I try to calm myself down.
Yeah, you can definitely make a perception check to kind of see what kind of words you are able to get out.
All the words.
All right. Well, there are some things that are definitely of note. You've kind of, learned maybe like a little bit of several Sylvan words in your time at the Fae, and just spending time with Isorel. Probably there's been, especially during downtime when you just, talk with each other, which doesn't necessarily always get role played out, but we can assume that you're spending a lot of time with each other, that some things get translated. And things that, words Isor definitely would have taught you is like, growth, life, or life planting, nurturing, big words. And these words definitely you manage to kind of, out of context of what is being shown, can gleam out of it. There is one other thing that you're able to see with a natural 20, which is the professor has been focusing on one part of this growth process of the seed, which seems very similar to what Isorel has been doing all this time. She had the seed and then she started to do that. It seems similar in nature of that. But there's a little bit that happened before that the professor was probably explaining before he went on to the other thing, that you can only see like glimpses of what he drawn there. It seems like the memory didn't capture that part. It seems like the memory more captured the growing process, but you can still see like the peripheral parts of the subconscious memory managed to capture that as well. And there you can see the very opposite. You can see decay, you can see rot, you can see very clearly written home, Azanvarus, and a very big plague, and then kind of an arrow that goes across that then kind of lines to the re-nurturing, replanting, reconnecting kind of thing. So from the context of just looking this over and over again, you can definitely see that they seem to be talking about the death of something from their home, which seems to be from Azanvarus, which you know is other continent, and that they have now basically have this new plan, since the connection to their own home got lost, try to rebuild it here, to try and re-nurture it as it was lost then. And the last thing that you get with a natural 20 is during this kind of when these individual people are on the stage and start talking, one of them, for some reason you're able to understand words he says. He refers to something that he calls Eve of Black Feathers, and then the death of a god.
Ooh. Eve of Black Feathers and death of god. More questions.
Yeah, that's what I'm using.
Incredible. So basically do that, rewatch that, copy all the stuff down on my own papers, and then, like I said, I'll work on making those books afterwards, and then goes to sleep.
All right. Then I guess Isabel, anything you would like to do during your long rest?
Before I go into my long rest, I would probably use like 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 spell slots to send an update to my dad where we're at, and we're okay, and we're advancing and stuff like that. Just give him a bit of an update of where we are and what's going on in very short sentences, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would probably waste a couple spell slots on that to make sure that he has a good update on what's going on.
Yeah. And he sounds proud and concerned about the things you're doing, but he also gives you an update about his situation, since you tasked him to kind of help God, I forgot his name. The Baron of Hosvan.
Yes.
Baron or Duke? No, Baron, I think.
Baron, yes.
To to kind of inform Azathia to try and create an alliance to prepare for a potential invasion. And for an invasion,
Mr. Moradon.
Yes, exactly, Moradon.
Moradon.
That they prepare defenses for if devils do appear around the Isthmus crossing area, since that was one of the concerns that from the Infernal map you've gotten and showed to him, that they seem to be wanting to cross there and attack something there and open a second gate. And so your dad confirms that they have been able to convince one of the battalions, one of the sea battalions in fact, to have a navy permanently stationed there, which now is easier without the high storms. And then also that the local military forces, which were already there because there was this half conflict going on with Azathia, there was a little bit of tension rising there, so they have troops there either way. But Moradon kind of also was very skeptical about their alignment, since maybe the troops that have been placed there are, under the liege of potential people that are working with the devils. So there's still that is being worked out, but at least one of the Azathian naval fleets is there at the ready in case anything were to go down. So at least something is there.
And then I would probably go into my meditative trance in front of whatever fire is put up for the night. Not even in a tent or anything, just outside.
Yep.
Right there.
That can be done. Alright.
I'll set up next to Izero and go into my meditative state.
12.
Since we have people to do our check-in for us.
Yo. Feel pretty confident that you don't have to hold watch. If they fail, then there's nothing that can be done. Alright. So with that, you all manage to get a pretty decent long rest behind you without much troubles. Seems like Xenophore at no point feels the need to warn you guys of anything. And so, with that, the new day comes. Obviously, Jade and Icewell, you've been awake for longer. You could see the sun rise, and by the time Irik and Fiera leave their tents, the sky has already turned a vibrant blue, though patched with some darker clouds, but most of them are bright white. It's still summertime, and a warm breeze is now running through this valley, kind of marking the start of a new day. You can see some of the troops have already gathered most of their things and just awaiting further orders, similar to Xenophore. So what is the plan?
Sorry, I'm taking
Plan is to choose spells.
Yes.
As per always.
Taking spells.
I think I've
don't
mostly
need
picked
this
mine.
one. Oh, yeah.
Oh boy. Stay away. We don't really know what's in the mountain. Have to scout mountain. I will. Have they had any concern about Levi? Just.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. They obviously seemed a little bit like, oh, but then they more or less ignored him since he was with you guys. And you also assume, since they've been openly confronting demons as their main occupation, like, once again, just to kind of hammer down demons, literally are the worst thing, just on an emotional and physical level that you can encounter. Like, devils don't necessarily exude this dreadful aura. They obviously seem intimidating and have a certain aura around them, but demons are literally, even like weak demons, just standing next to them kind of drains a certain part of your mortality, and that he doesn't seem to do. So they keep like an eye, always like they kind of side glance, because he's a little bit strange, but you know, they are part of a elven army. They have strange magics also within them, so it's not entirely new to them.
Okay, don't I explain that?
Do I keep Pass Without Trace on me, or are we past that?
If you ask me, I think they're the ones that need to be afraid.
Alright, so more firepower.
done hiding.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. More
We're in that
firepower.
era now. We have to.
Also,
It's just.
if two of you go in, I don't think that's the way to go anymore. It's either all or nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's daytime. We have a clear view of the mountain.
You do indeed.
Yeah, I can do it. That's a little bit. Oh, I'd have to cast tongues. I don't want to do that.
Yes. Okay. I can
okay, I
cast
will-
tongues. I can do it.
I
Don't even worry about it.
It would be for a joke. It would not be.
Okay. Okay. No, I'm not wasting spells just for jokes.
Okay. I'll have Glamour kind of go up onto my shoulder.
Yes.
Okay. I've had this suspicion that there's gonna be some creepy castle in the mountains. You know, there's gonna be like bats flying and like a storm cloud right over it, but nowhere else. And then there's gonna be like this mysterious fog and like gargoyles the size of like giants. Do you see anything like that?
That sounds oddly specific. I don't know what kind of
I
nightmares
have read so many books growing up about fiction, but now it turns out a lot of things are just real.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the books I read were like way weirder. They were like, you know, 3 goopy eyes making out and stuff like that. But okay, I guess a different preference.
What?
We don't talk about it. Okay, go on. Yes.
Yes. Can you see anything from here? A castle up on high.
All right. He kind of looks.
I'll hold them up.
Yeah. He gets advantage because you're holding him up.
Great. Activate. Glamour with perception. Wow. He let me down.
He says, let me down, let me down. That's uncomfortable. How are you holding me? No, I can't confirm. There is no strange castle with a very ominously looking storm cloud above it and
Ominous, yes.
large gargoyles or fog or any of that stuff.
Okay. Wonderful. So are we just going over then? It's like an open field, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much a
More or less.
open valley. There are like little steps of like cliffs and ridges and stuff like that. And that's spoilers, but
Okay.
part of that it's pretty open.
I think we just go. Something's gonna happen. We'll just be ready for it.
I have all of my wild shapes. I can turn into a dragon if we need to.
Right.
Do
So
we
just a
think-
reminder for everyone.
Oh.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
What?
Everybody
going
at
through-
once.
I'm going through my spells that I would need. Is there anything that you guys think that could be beneficial? Like, I have a spell that's Aura of Vitality, which can heal us if you guys are next to me.
I don't want to be in the front.
Well, I mean, I can always, like-
people up there.
I got the healing pretty on lock because even as a beast, I can heal
Well-
people.
What would that heal you as well?
I don't think
where-
so.
it's a concentration spell. I don't think it does.
Yeah,
Where
I
did it
don't think
go?
you. I don't think you.
I would
heal
say
yourself
focus on
with it.
anything that helps you, because again, you're the one that we're gonna have face to face with the Blood Commander, Albertine Marxus Harrelson. So whatever keeps you alive and keeps.
Oh,
him
it looks like
focused on
it
you.
would. It would help me.
Oh, okay.
Because it says I
Then
can
it
choose
might work.
one creature in it to restore the. So I would be in
Yeah,
it.
that'd be you.
Yeah, that would be you.
All right.
Now, in that vein about, having as much resources as possible, do we think that me having see invisibility in my spell storing item is still necessary at this point? Or
Versus.
I can put any first level or second level artificer spell in it. So that could be a healing spell, it could be cure wounds, it could be something like I can put Scorching Ray in it, and that's just like 100 rays of Scorch.
100 rays of scorch.
I mean, that would be good because I have true seeing. So if we need to see something that
Yeah,
is
we always have that as
invisible,
well.
I can just activate it. It doesn't use any of my
Mhm.
spells,
Yeah.
basically. I can just
So I
Yeah,
can
think
put some
offense is good.
firepower
Yes.
in the spell storing item, and that could be
Yes.
used 10 times.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Yes. I think it would be far more useful to you to have more firepower into that, or anything that can help you. Again, something that can
Yeah.
help you. You know?
And that's sustained too, just spell slots you
Yes.
can save. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I can see through something that is invisible with an item that doesn't use my spell capacities.
Right.
Mhm.
So in terms of firepower, Scorching Ray is probably the best just because it's
Yes.
multiple
It's-
rays.
It's good that Jade has some healing aspect in case I go down, or like we're two people that can heal each other in
Right.
case of emergency. But I think also having more firepower. Oops, I'm getting too riled up. I'm getting warned. My heart is beating too fast.
Uh-oh.
Um, I'm also having my third coffee of the day, so I'm not helping myself.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, thank
you.
Right, there it is.
But yeah, like having more firepower now that we have both of our healers together.
Oh, we also have Lantern of Revealing. Glamour has it, so
Hmm.
eventually
Okay.
we'll use it.
I shall. To see all
And he has
So-
two
the
potions.
Yeah.
I'll take the time then and change my spell storing item from See Invisibility to Scorching Ray, so I have 30 free uses of rays. Or
Jesus.
10 uses, 30 rays available.
Boom, boom,
a lot of HP.
boom.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
triple shot. Plus the extra damage on each ray. That's some crazy scaling.
Yep.
I mean, it's an action to use it, so like but
Still.
the ability to have it in the back there if I run out of
Yeah.
spell slots is good.
Yes.
Yeah. Alright. Any... Well, other preparations? Yes.
At the moment.
Do we want me to? So we're trying to get to what's his face, correct?
Friedrich?
That's, I mean, the goal
Friedrich?
is to get to
Harrison.
him, and the goal is to get to Haraldson, because one of the two of them likely
Okay.
has the information we need about the vault.
Do we want me to scry on any of them?
It would be really tough to scry on Haraldson. We did just break the divination. I mean, it'd
I
be
could
really
scry
tough.
on Friedrich, get maybe a better sense of where he is.
Is it really going to help us that much?
I'm just asking. I'm just.
No, I know. I'm just
Asking,
I'm
you
just
know?
saying
That's a big
It-
spell, right?
It is a possibility for me to do it.
I think we wait. If we need more
Okay.
information.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
If we get lost,
It's
then, yeah.
it's in the back of my pocket if we need to.
Okay.
It's there. All right.
Yeah, I think the step right now is just get closer and try to find something. Are they in a mine? Are they in a building? Are they just at the top of the mountain? We need to go find out.
All right.
So let's go.
Alright. Then you start to move. The soldiers gather and they kind of keep a close perimeter. Though Zinavor sends two of them ahead. They seem to be the ones carrying bows and have these very long draped clothes. Almost the edges they have now started to cover with the local gravel and dust that has been collected there to just kind of boost their stealthiness, which is
I'll give them like the 101. Like, we've run into rangers. This is how they look. This is how they fight. They have bows and swords. Clerics are probably the biggest threat. They use blood to heal, to create shields, to create problems. We ran into a captain, but he died very quickly. So I don't know a single thing about him. I wrote
He
nothing
got
about the captain.
disintegrated very quickly.
Yeah, he wasn't a problem. I'm sure he wouldn't have done anything whatsoever. Also, they can inflict blood curses. What can you do? Yep. Oh, and there was this fire.
they kind of nod.
Yep.
So, all right, yeah, we keep that in the minds.
Then they scout ahead. Yeah, so you're kind of beelining for the mountains, and obviously it will take you a while to get there. Anything in particular you would like to do during this travel? Do you want to look out for something? Because obviously you have a vague direction where you need to go, with the kind of arcane rune kind of somewhat located a point in that direction. And also you've got the info.
People ran, right?
That as well, but it was a very loose direction in the dark that is the mountain. But you did get the information from the cleric that you interrogated, who did kind of say that Friedrich is at the cliff face of the mountain behind. He did say that.
Right.
So
Yes.
he has to be somewhere within the vicinity. So you can let me know what you would like to do. Try and find this. Basically a mini skill challenge, which is heavily boosted since you have 8 other individuals kind of helping you here.
I will send my owl ahead and get some bird eyes view above of what's going on, and have it basically go as far as it can in the direction where the people ran, and that we know that Friedrich is supposed to be, and basically try to find any traces of where they have gone or how far ahead of us they are, that kind of stuff. So basically get a lay of the land of what's ahead of us.
Okay, I can make a perception check with advantage since the local battalion
Here's the
members.
first one, and here's the second one.
A 15. All right, yeah. Obviously,
Yep.
with the bird's eye view, you get a better perspective of everything that lowers the DC. And of course, the kind of general, once again, allies that you have on you seem to more or less also be experts on, scouting and just kind of looking for signatures in the environment. Especially Xenophor is also very much trained in that. So you get a lot of stacked benefits on top of that. So
He's a ranger, right? Technically.
Xenophor?
Yeah.
No, she is a rogue.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah. Well, a very special type of rogue. That's so she is.
A ranger rogue.
You have to unlock that subclass.
Yeah, if you talk with her long enough, which actually you should have already, but unlocked it in the video game sense. Yeah. Well, you do see that she is carrying a big scythe on her back. That is true. That is kind of clapped together almost like a scissors. Anyways, not too relevant for what the
Yes.
owl is seeing, because the owl is scouring over the entire mountainscape, and because he has obviously a very fast flying speed, he can scoot ahead of the group to kind of get a closer perspective. And after a while, it returns, and the familiar somewhat communicates back to you what it was able to see. And it kind of gives you several pieces of information that there seems to be fragmented ruins on one portion of this mountain face. There seem to be pillars that he was able to see There seem to be somewhat like large statues even that seem to be, kind of collapsed or half buried within the ground itself. And then more noticeably that he was very clearly was able to see is a cave entrance. One that is not incredibly large, but big enough to have been seen from several miles away, which means something. So something that can be easily located is basically what your familiar is trying to tell you. And it's about 3/4 up the mountain. And these ruins are more or less at the foot of the mountain. So quite a bit of distance away from the cave itself. But it tries to communicate that there's like a section of pillars that almost seem to connect this cave entrance and this ruin. And that there are many different smaller portions fragmented around this side of the mountain face, which didn't exist on the other side. That's what he communicates. But no individuals specifically spotted.
I mean, it's better than nothing. I would definitely relay that information to the group so that they are aware.
Okay. So we have a cave and man-made objects.
Mm-hmm.
I think we check out what's outside before inside.
Definitely. It is a case of we need to be careful because they might be hiding stuff in the caves, and if we get to the cave and not go through the ruins, we can get smushed in between two forces. As Fiera just builds her armor on herself while walking.
Just not paying attention, just do.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Who wants to lead the way?
I guess I could take the lead. I mean, I am the strong one.
By all means.
She steps forward with a heavy armor. Yeah, obviously Aishel being the one who has guides, since she's the one who saw where the stuff is. But Jade, you kind of go in front of the group. Obviously, you still have the two Wolf Battalion infantry soldiers also ahead of you as well. And you travel for a while, for several hours in fact, before you start to get towards the foot of the mountain. By the time you get there, good 6 hours pass, so it's already 4 in the afternoon by the time you get there. And then you start to see, the climb of the mountain face itself. There are several bigger cliffs that you have to, kind of climb up upon, but luckily you have well-prepared soldiers that have equipment that allow you to do so. But you can start to see as you're hiking up this portion of the mountain that there are several man-made structures that are very visibly open here. And especially now that you get so close to the kind of mountain itself, with your passive perception alone, you can see about 3/4 up the mountain where there's a very obvious opening of a cave entrance. It is especially obvious because it's kind of flanked by 2 large pillars, almost like a half-broken archway that sits inside of the mountain itself. And there are also a variety of ruined structures that stand out from the natural terrain, which now is clearly visible now that there's no illusion. And you can gain the sense how necessary it was for an illusion, because anyone who would walk in this valley would be able to see these ruins if they paid attention to it. So the large areas, even now that you're approaching or hiking up the foot of these mountains, around maybe 1,000 or 2,000 feet in front of you on the first cliff edge, you can already see also other structures that are poking out of the ground, or more accurately are half buried under the ground, but the edges of what seem to be old walls and also erected but half broken and shattered pillars are hard to hide and are easy to see, especially on a clear and bright day like today. And so it doesn't...
With my passive of 17, would I see this as well?
Yeah, with a passive of 17 you would also see it, yes. So it is in no way, shape or form hidden, at least not anymore. And yeah, so it doesn't take long. After those 4 hours, you trekked and hiked like 20 minutes up this first portion. Fiera's knees already getting a little bit weak since she's not the fittest of the group. But you get to what seems to be a small ruined site, reminiscent of your time with Vashina, but you can see that there's a collection of different pillars. It's a little bit hard to make out what kind of structure would have been here. Maybe like those old Greek buildings that are basically only made with pillars. You can see collapsed portions of what might have been roofs. They're a little bit more triangular. The other thing you can very clearly see is that each of these pillars aren't circular, but they are pentagonal in shape. So they have like 5 edges that have kind of wedged into the ground and come out. And you can also see that they seem to be made out of some black material. And they are in this kind of small site where you are right now. You can see about 7 or so pillars. And then one somewhat broken wall structure seems to be sitting almost central in the middle of all these pillars and the pillars around it.
Can I look at the pillars closely and compare the material to the stones that I took from inside the cave at the cliffside? Is it the same dark black, like almost petrified like material?
Yeah, you go closer and you look at it. You can make an investigation check with advantage since you took those stones with.
Can I give him guidance?
Yeah, of course you can.
D4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, number 4. Go.
Get that 30.
Who's wrong?
Yeah, it's a 4. In the log, it's a 4.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, the normal rolls don't show up on
It's right there.
20. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you look at it. You're pretty confident. No, they're not the same material, but in a similar vein, these structures seem to have been made out of obsidian. So still something lava adjacent. You can see they have like a glassy, almost marble-like texture. But as you get closer and you investigate them, you can also see that there is like some text written on some of them occasionally that you're able to see. And with your investigation check, easily you can see that they're very similar to, funnily enough, the runes you have seen just a couple of hours ago, which they seem to be a mix of infernal and draconic. And I said runes, that is false. It is more language. It is actual language, and you can very clearly make out some words, not all of them, because most of them either eroded or cracked down, or parts of it was, broken away just through the damage this building sustained. But as you're going through, there like just a variety of words that don't mean anything without context. It's like in the middle of a sentence of like they who will be in a crack, so you can't glean anything. But going through multiple of these pillars, you do see some sentences that kind of catch your attention a little bit more, as one of them says, the Penta song, they give us truth and enlightenment. And the other one that says, we are betrayed, we are forsaken, but the Penta song shall awake our savior.
Oh, jeez.
And the other thing that you get on a 30 is you can age these ruins about maybe 2,500 years old. And just as reference, that is not as old as the whatever happened with the War of the First Sin. That's like 10,000 years old. This was during prime time Draconic Imperium when the dragons ruled this continent. So it was during that time.
Are you sharing this with us?
Absolutely. The sounds that came out of me have also come out of Irish.
Okay.
Oh God.
Okay, so the Penta song.
I'm gonna take some pieces of obsidian too, if possible.
It is a little difficult, but you have the necessary tools to kind of chip away at them. And
Yeah.
Penta song. Draconic Imperium. Awaken our Savior. I mean, Penta 5, Awaken our Savior, Tiamat's asleep. Does that make sense? Like they're talking about awakening Tiamat?
Now, yeah, yes, I hear what you're saying. Yes, I hear song, and I think back to the instruments. Not that we've dealt much with the instruments. We kind of just parked that in the back of our heads, but
No.
That's what I thought of was instruments.
yeah. Because am I being dumb? But there were 5 instruments.
One for each
Yes.
head.
Yeah.
We only know about the
So-
horn.
They're activating the instruments in some way to create the pentasong.
What
They might be
connection do you
activating the
have with it?
instruments to try to find them.
Oh, like a beacon?
Yeah, like if they activate them, they're easier to find.
Mhm.
Or they like call to people or something.
Yep. Wow. Okay. All right.
Or it could be something else.
That too.
I'll give the benefit of the doubt that one of you guys can roll a history check.
It was the
Oh,
best history.
I have +8.
Yeah.
10.
Go for
I'll
it.
give guidance to whoever it is.
You have better history. Go ahead.
Guide me. Straight. Check, I assume.
Yeah.
You get guidance.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
4.
And I'll give you a +5 on that since we're talking about it.
Ooh,
2, so 23 with all that.
23 was all that. Wow. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about Pentasong, and at some point after kind of ping-ponging this word around, it seems a little bit familiar, almost as if
does.
you've heard it before, and trying to really rack your brains, like, where did we hear this? But you are confident that you've encountered this name before.
Pentasong keys. Vilks on Hollad. Yeah, okay. Okay. I found it.
All right,
I
but
should have looked at my notes. Always check your notes, people. 'Cause
and more specifically, not only that you know that that is what these things were more or less referenced to, but the group that Kamisha belonged to, they called themselves the Pentasong. Their group actively
Oh,
called
I don't
themselves
remember
the
that.
Oh, shit.
I don't remember that at all. Okay, so let me. I take out my notebook and read. So when we were in hell, I learned some things I apparently forgot about. We were tasked by. Oh god. Kamir Shah, to find one of the keys. Because they were created by Vixahala, the divine crafter of music, the Pentasong keys. We were told about the horn, but then it skips to the 7. There's 7 greater deities created by the creators, the elemental archdevils. 7 pillars, 7 elemental archdevils. So yes. So if they're surrounding the wall would probably be Ganar. So we are walking in history. I did not think that the Legion would be allied to Tiamat. I thought they were going with other sinners, but I guess.
Oh,
Hmm.
just as an FYI, Jack, I just realized that I had 2 spells that I don't have the components for, so I'm removing them from my list and switching them over.
Are they good spells?
Yes, but I literally don't have what I need for them.
But we do have 4 netherite torment crystals for emergencies. So if you think it would be a good enough spell for like an emergency, you could have a crystal. Unless you want another spell.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna need greater restoration.
Oh, I have a greater restoration scroll that I'm
Okay.
just keeping on myself. So.
And I don't think we're going to need reincarnate.
No, I don't think so. Hopefully not.
Unless Fiera really wants to skip that west.
It's been in my spell list for I don't know how long, and I never switched it out after I used it.
It's one of those things where as soon as you switch it out,
I am going to need it. Yeah, I know.
do we have
So
like
now-
Revivify or something?
I do have Revivify, yes.
Okay, yes, that's fine. There you go. You're fine.
Okay,
keep that
but Revivify needs a diamond worth 300 GP, which the spell consumes.
I probably have that if you don't.
Okay, all right. So I'll keep that one
I
in
do
then.
have one.
All right.
Yeah, if you need diamond, just come
I
to me.
just did a little switcheroo to make sure
have
that I
many
had
diamonds.
just make sure that I had spells that I can actually use and
Hmm.
not get confused and use something that I cannot use.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
And then there's a doorway near here.
No, the doorway was the cave entrance. Seems to have been a archway that led in, but it's still like several miles away from where you are right now. You are at the
Miles.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're on the foot of the
Yeah.
mountain.
We would still need to walk up the mountains.
So we found the ruins of what may have used to be the location of the horn. Maybe they retrieved from here and put it in the vault. Could be. But these are just old ruins. Does confirm what we already know.
You say old, but like what we see looks run down. Maybe something inside is still active.
Right. I mean, they made it a base of operations for a reason.
Yeah.
Pentasa. Okay. Okay, yeah. Cave? Unless we think there's anything here. I could do detect magic, but... I mean, we have 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, probably.
Alright. I'll take a seat and ritually cast detect magic. And then I'll just look over the area with it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you quickly do that in 10 minutes and kind of just look around. Very evidently don't see any magical things, at least within this area. And once again, this is the first piece of ruins you stumbled upon. There's like still a larger section that continues upwards, closer towards once you approach the cave. Seems like there's like several sections of ruins that kind of more or less lead up to it, as if it was a larger city, village, or whatever that existed. What now Arik knows is around 2,500 years ago. So at least within this vicinity of a quick look around, you don't glean anything in magical nature.
Seven elemental arch cells. Ah, boy, they're probably not happy about this. And the fire one's dead, which doesn't make sense to me, but we'll figure that out with Zephygus. Upward.
Yep.
Let's keep going.
Alright, you continue your trek, and as you continue to ascend this small mountain, more time goes by, but quickly, after short successions, you stumble across more ruined sections, some more interesting than others. The most you cross by are like what seem to have been potential houses or homes or abodes. They are like smaller in structure, and the only things that are left are maybe 2 of the 4 walls that once made this structure. And so you pass by many of these where at a glance you don't think you can gain much information from them, until further as you're walking there you can start to see several statues that have kind of crumbled. They take more organic forms, which immediately grabs your interest. You can see one of them in particular. You can see a wing that's kind of half merged, almost like fossilized within the ground itself, with a draconic like head kind of poking out. You can only see the upper portion of a head, and you can see on a different side of the ruin you've kind of stumbled upon is there's another one. You can see what seems to be an arm that is hidden behind one of the walls. Once again, kind of a probably different area of whatever civilization lived here prior, where there seems to be some remnants of importance that have survived the decay of time, though only the kind of vague silhouettes can be seen, though obviously they can be further inspected to see more. But you seem to have gone into like a different section of this ruin.
Frankly, I say we just keep going until we find action.
Yeah.
Like,
I as much as I want to spend hours exploring these ruins, I think we have more pressing matters, and as much as I like, again, this all seems so interesting and intertwined in what we're doing. I think we need to get going and make sure that we move along and get
you
to
got
them
some
before they.
obsidian pieces, right, Eric?
I did, yeah. Few stones.
Okay. I could use those to return then, if we ever wanted to.
Great. Yep.
Do we think we're within an hour of the entrance?
With your climbing capabilities, probably more like 3 hours.
Okay. Okay, we'll climb a bit, take a rest. Take a rest. Okay, outbreak. We go.
Hell yeah, and in that rest, we're gonna take a short rest because I go pee real bad. I apologize, my weak bladder showing itself once again. So we'll see each other in a quick sec. Bye. And we are back again as you guys continue your journey upwards, passing by even more of the ruins and pillars on your way, slowly but surely getting led by the infantry men who kind of, now and again there's like a heavy cliffside that you have to climb up, but they have like climbing gear and help you ascend this in a quick and safe manner, especially for Fiera. Though obviously Israel also not too keen of physical endurance here, but you make do. And around,
I'm just floating up.
yeah, exactly.
Whoop. Whoop.
Using your boot for like a few seconds.
Actually, yeah, you're probably the one who like takes the rope up, attach it on the top, which makes it definitely.
Oh, we have climbing.
I
gear.
also, we all have climbing kits that we bought when we went to the ravine.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you're super well prepared for this.
freshly bought.
Yeah, but probably don't even know how to use it, but now you learn how to use it on the field. So you gain the knowledge for that. But at some point of another, 1 or 2 hours journey, where you're getting pretty confident that you are soon to arrive at the cave entrance, one of the scouts who's always, around like maybe like 500 feet in front of you guys, seems to have returned. And he comes back and he says,
I made
contact. There seems to be people now there at the cave entrance. Fortifications have been made. I've been able to see one ballista set up. Wooden barricades. And several individuals. I saw a little bit of movement inside of the cave itself. Just letting you know.
Wonderful. Oh, well, thanks for not being caught.
It's my job. Thank you.
Okay. Well, just a reminder, Haroldson might be here as well at the front door. Regardless, I think they're in for a surprise, so do what you need to prepare.
You see,
If he is here, if Haroldson, excuse me, if Haroldson is here, are we trying to kill him? Are we trying to incapacitate him?
If we captured him, do you think he would talk?
No, I don't. I'm not saying I think he would, but for proof of whatever, I don't know. Like, if we have the opportunity to kill him outright, are we going to do it? Is there any reason at all to keep him?
He might be the one that broke into the vault. He might know
So
where
he
an
has-
artifact is.
Yeah. So it's
We might have to try to knock him out. Or incapacitate him, or cut off his arm and leg. We might have to keep him alive.
if desperate times occur,
It's okay
we kill him.
if we have to. Yes.
But
we
if
have
there's
to.
ways
it saves
to-
one of
to
our
keep him-
lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Jade, you ready? Confident? Feeling strong?
This is gonna be you.
We need you to get his attention and keep his attention.
I mean, if I have to, I'll just insult him. Just, I'll fight.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Well, I'm gonna
Once
start
again,
casting
I
spells.
have no problem laying down cover fire. That's pretty
Great.
much
Yeah,
what
you
I'm
and Azrael
useful for.
support Jade's frontline, and I'll deal with Friedrich when he comes out.
you see Xenophore at this point also kind of steps up and she says, well, I think we are the ones who will provide cover fire. We'll take care of the small fry. So we'll make sure that you can enter the cave through whatever means.
But you can handle Harrison if you really want to. I mean,
If you say so, you can definitely give us cover fire if you feel confident we are up to the task.
no, it's fine.
We are a little less equipped against magic users, which is why.
Also, I'm sure they hate us to the point where they would ignore you if you were in their face.
100%.
Yes. So that's why I recommend we take out these blood ranges, since they don't seem to be causing too much of a trouble. We'll secure the entrance. You can rush inside, and in case any of these Friedrich or the Saint Albertine shows up, we'll leave them to you.
Mm.
That sound good?
We'll look for the things that are, trigger mechanisms, or, things that are runes, anything like that. We'll go after those things.
Very well. Once again, we'll create cover fire, so in case there's any danger, I'll see that my men protect you by any means. We'll make a quick job with those at the entrance. Their defenses are weak, correct? Yes, we have seen worse, madame. Very well, then this should not cause much of a problem. Then I think you can sit back for a while, and then we can take over a little bit of the job. You've been doing much yourselves, and then once you give the signal, you can storm inside.
What's the signal?
Let's just say, run inside.
I should shout that as soon as possible.
Perfect. Good. No mistakes. It's easy to understand. Good.
Very
No
well.
room for confusion.
Nope.
Very well. So, men, show them what you're up and what you've trained for. No mistakes. I don't want to see any casualties. Alright? Yes, madam. You can see they kind of make themselves more or less ready. You can see that out of their backpacks, those who have arrows kind of take out things that they start to screw on to the arrows. You can see there are like arcane runes around, almost like a... It looks a bit like a silencer that they kind of screw onto their bow arrows. So it probably isn't a silencer.
Okay.
And they kind of just
We get it.
take on position. You can see there are like many different sections of runes that give you very good cover towards the front entrance, and they kind of lead you to one of these areas where you can kind of peek around the corner where you can see these light fortifications that these the Holy Blood Legionnaires made as a meager attempt to defend themselves. There's a little outcropping with a large boulder and a kind of lifted up section of what seems to have been maybe a wall where the ballista has been placed upon. It is a medium duty ballista, so obviously a human getting caught by that, not very fun. And then you can see what seems to be like a stone entryway, this kind of half broken archway, as well as two pillars. And then in front of that, you can see wooden poles have been placed inside, like natural barricades that you would have to kind of weave around in order to gain entrance into the cave itself. And with your passive perception, Eric, you can occasionally see shadows moving in the cave. And as you see that, you can see that these wolf battalion, almost like, you know, probably where they get their name from, wolves start to stalk around and create a perimeter, setting themselves up for the best possible angle for attack, and then just kind of are stationed there waiting for Xenophor. Yes,
Yeah, I look up in the sky. Is there anything circling? Anything look like it's, you know, planning attacks from above?
you can make a perception check.
Meanwhile, I'm going to cast Aid on myself, Jade, and Xenophor at 4th level, right here. So her, Jade, and I all get 15 extra HP on top of what we have. So it's your max HP that is upped by 15.
Nice.
Then I'm gonna give a haste speed to Glamour for his backpack, pouch, whatever it's called. His
Yep.
cat sack.
Cat sack. Cat sack sounds so wrong. That's a different thing. That's a very special magic item.
So yeah, I just upped Xenophor a little bit because she's going to be the line of defense, but also Jade and I, because we'll probably take the brunt of it.
And then Levi does have tongues.
You're muted, Felicia.
Yeah, I also realized I was going to say it didn't matter anyway. So it's good.
Go team.
I just realized that I still have Gus, my horse. I was like, he probably couldn't make it up here. So he's just waiting down at the bottom for us.
Oh, Gus.
Oh, Gus.
Poor Gus. Poor Gus.
Yeah. So, as you all set yourself in position, and you've kind of all gathered together, they've kind of clumped you there and they've positioned you in a way where you would have a rather direct line of, well, not only sight, but also running that you could use once they give you the signal to kind of dash inside. And once you all say that you're ready, or basically give them the signal that they're ready, they start to kind of slowly stalk as close as possible. And you can see on the very left side, one of them starts to draw one of these special arrows, and he kind of aims it immediately towards where this ballista is. And then he looks over to Xenophor, Xenophor looks over to him, and he looks over to another group who have kind of positioned themselves, and she then gives a nod, and then He lets the arrow go, and as it kind of goes in, there's a very minor and brief flash before the arrow just disappears. And then you just hear a... And then this sudden column of blue and green energy just erupts where this ballista was. And you can almost see like phantom arrows come raining down from above. The blood legionnaires, the rangers who were on this ballista, completely unprepared by the sudden assault, get yanked away, pushed by a sudden force of these kind of astral seeming arrows, get pushed away from the ballista. The ballista still survives impact, but is cracked half open, and the one bolt that was already loaded inside just flings and shoots wide, making it unusable for the time being. As soon as that happens, there's a signal for the other blood rangers, who immediately start to kind of dash out of the barricade after they hear the sudden noise. And in that same time, you can immediately see the other Wolf Battalion infantry have already their arrows readied, and each time one of these blood rangers comes dashing out, just gets shot with one of the arrows. Volley after volley gets shot inside. They get hit. They try to dodge, but in the open space and barricade, they've kind of trapped themselves in the entrance there. Worse position, as they didn't foresee this coming, and you can see shouts on commandos going on as the one archer who took down the ballista now starts to approach even closer, and a melee battle engages as it kind of runs inside, jumps over one of the barricades, and starts to fight against one of the blood rangers. And you can see after that the other ones start to also take on a closer perimeter. There's one pillar that is around 60 feet away from the entrance, takes that as cover and continues to shoot arrows inside. After the one that is kind of engaged in melee starts to run away, back off, leading the people that are coming out of the tunnel out of the tunnel. And there you can see that they're trying to create this space and opening where they're trying to draw out everyone that's inside to allow you to just run inside without getting disturbed. As this happens one by one, you can see another one of these Wolf Battalion archers takes another of these silencers, puts it on arrows, waits until you can see a cleric come out of the door, and immediately he unleashes this arrow, flies, disappears. And this time, instead of blue arrows shooting through, you can see these kind of orange purplish arrows that kind of engulf in flame. You can almost see like an astral snake that weaves around the cleric, and he can't move them as he's kind of stuck there, paralyzed by this arrow as he gets caught by it. And as soon as that happens, you see
I don't hear anything. No.
What happened?
What happened?
Uh-oh. Audio issues. Audio issues.
Oh, I see a green ring around Jack.
Oh,
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Yes, technical difficulties always at the right time. But you then hear Xenophor shout, "Run inside! Now's the time!" And you start to run. So this is a minor skill challenge for you. Heavily reduced the DC because of the successful assault and sneak attack from the Wolf Battalion group. You can see the cleric is still paralyzed by this arrow that was casted inside, and most of the blood rangers who have come out are already engaged with other members of the battalion, and now there's only the opening. There's one blood ranger who's just coming out who hasn't engaged anyone, and he seems to be the only hurdle you have to try to overcome to get entryway into this tunnel.
I will run, and as I run, I will turn into a dire wolf and pounce on the ranger.
Oh, hell yeah. Then just make an attack roll with advantage.
Attack roll. Alright, I need to do a magical attack roll. Just give me one quick second.
And this dire wolf just like comes running in and pounces.
Yeah.
Here's one. Here's second one.
Holy
there
shit,
you
yeah.
go. But yeah.
He comes out completely unprepared, and you just jump over, mid-jump, turn into this dire wolf, leap over this wooden barricade that I've erected, meager attempt to try and hold you off, and just immediately grab him at the neck, throw him to the ground. He has no time to react, kind of dragging him to the side, allowing more than enough space for the rest of you to kind of run inside. And you do so, and as you run inside, you can see the small cave entrance. You can see mining equipment around, pickaxes, broken stones and then an entryway that leads further inside. A quick glance reveals kind of a side chamber that seems to be like a supply storage room where there are crates and barrels. A quick glance also reveals that there doesn't seem to be anything innately interesting, and then just a long hallway that continues deeper inside of this mountain. What would you like to do?
I'm casting dark vision on myself.
That is good to know, because there's no light source inside of here.
Oh, I don't like that. It's the morning though.
I'm
I can
great.
create, like,
I'm gonna stop to let Fiera hop on my back if she wants to. Because I do have dark vision, so I can run.
I need lights. 60 feet just is enough. Yeah, I'll use the drift globe and say magic words that I have written down. Tog is slitched.
Oh yeah.
Lasts an hour of daylight as it lights up, and I'll staff in one hand, have it in the other. Actually, it can float. It follows.
Yeah, it follows.
And I'm blinded now because of dark vision.
Gets insinuated
But just
there.
in case they dispel it.
Hell yes. Alright, yeah. Do you just dash further inside? Is that the plan of action?
Did she kill the ranger?
Well, it incapacitated him for the time being. It won't seem to be a problem. You can already see one of the wolf battalions making its way there to neutralize him as well, so you don't have to deal with him.
Okay, I'm going to make my annihilation field
Nice, alright.
just in case I need it.
Yes.
I'm gonna look for writing on the walls. What's in here? What's in the hallway? What's
Alright,
purpose?
make an investigation check.
What is? Can I roll? I don't see
No
any dice.
rolling allowed.
It showed me
hell?
rolled a 19.
I don't see a roll on my screen.
I don't see a roll. Oh,
Oh,
there
there
it
it
is.
is.
There.
There it is.
That's weird. Yeah, it rolled a 19, right?
No, 15.
I don't see anything.
Oh, it showed a 19 on my screen.
Wow. Well, that's sometimes the
Beyond.
beyond.
I'll take the 25.
A 25. Yeah, you look quickly around. You, from the mining equipment you can see here, it seems like that this cave was at some point, not a cave, but this was man-made, that it kind of dug through here. There was an entryway suggesting that something sealed this entrance at some point and they've dug it free. Looking at the rock at a quick glance, you can very easily tell that whatever they've mined free here was molten magma, similar to the one that Eirik showed you. And you can see that they kind of dug out this hole that kind of leads further down until a portion on the ground reveals what seems to be like cobblestone that turns back into a natural path. The other thing that you can quickly see as you're glancing through, getting a little bit closer to the walls, very similar to Melador's dungeon, they are like kind of petrified hands and limbs within this kind of dug open, petrified section of the room. Almost as if people were encased inside of this magma at some point. You can see bones on the ground and in general on the wall as well. But it looks more like the only difference between Melador's dungeon is in Melador's dungeon the walls themselves were made out of these people. Here it seems more like people were inside and then magma coursed through, causing them to become part of the molten thing. So you can always see the inside of a hand or the outside of an elbow just kind of peeking out that has been archaeologically freed from the debris here. And that's what you get at a quick glance. You don't necessarily see any scriptures immediately around here, since most of it is just truly mined open cave. But it seems like the hallway that leads further down seems to kind of turn from this molten nature into a more classical wall that you would expect from a ruin.
Eirik, did you ever learn of a magma dragon? One that's
Magma dragon? I mean,
there was the group
I've
of
tried to
dragons
not
that-
learn that much about dragons. I'll be real.
Good luck. I mean, it could have been the Dominator. It could have been the. I don't know if it would be the Archdevil Diablos. I don't know how big Diablos would be.
That's
But there were the
not a
group of
name
dragons
I've-
that specifically fought against sinners. I don't know where my dragon titles would be. Well, I mean, we could always find out afterwards, but I have a feeling one of them probably came here to end this. Either a dragon, the Dominator, the guy, I can't remember their name, or Diablos.
I just want to point out, are we really going to ambush this place and then stop right at the door, or are we just going to keep
Nope,
running?
nope. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Well, I feel just like standing there for 10 minutes deliberating about the...
I just pick Fiera up and start running.
What's the dragon's name?
Yes, then any specific things you're paying attention to as you're running through this hallway?
Obviously with the light and dark vision on now, if we can like just notice if there are any sort of like offshoots from the main path that maybe like as we come up we can slow down, thinking about Melidor's dungeon when we crossed paths and got blown by the dragon.
Yeah, like maybe not like full run, but like
Yeah. Deliberate
Power
approach.
walk?
Yes.
Actually scanning
Power
the
walk?
walls as we run to make sure there's no hiding places.
Alright, yeah, you can make an investigation check to kind of scour for any potential traps, since you did learn from Melidor's dungeon that those are a thing. Investigation 21. Yes, you're walking there and you kind of slow down after, you know, going into obviously enemy territory, and of course whatever this kind of rune is can have its natural dangers, and so you still power walk through, but scanning the environment with a quick eye and quick glance, and there are sometimes sections within the wall that kind of crack away where you kind of stop and look around. You don't see anything in the first one. You see a larger alcove in the second one, almost like a window has been carved inside of there, and there you can indeed see very clearly a arcane sigil has been drawn inside of it that you don't know what it does, but it's been clearly somewhat obscured as it's been kind of sunken into a portion of the wall that's been dug out specifically for that rune.
Hand up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We got something here. Sigil on the wall.
I go look to see what the sigil is.
Don't cross the path.
Okay, you can make an Arcana check.
I'm gonna give myself guidance,
Alright.
yeah,
This is
'cause I
not
can't
my
help
area
you as
team.
a-
but I'm gonna try.
You can...
I can't help right now as a wolf, so I'll just protect.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I'll just
Right.
protect.
And then
good.
my guidance. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, an
Okay.
18.
Good,
Wow.
good, good.
18 is-
Solid, solid.
18 is
With a plus
that's very
zero.
good.
Yeah.
For me, like that's really great.
Yeah, you look at
That's
it and
awesome.
you're like, yeah, that's definitely some sort of evocation-based rune. Anything, you assume also that it's proximity trigger, so you kind of step just for safety a little bit back, and you are like 80% confident that if you cross this, it will explode.
I look
Can
at Ark.
someone
Don't cross that. You're gonna make it explode.
Thanks,
someone-
thanks. I'm gonna break off a bone from the wall and gonna throw it across.
Oh hell yeah! It goes there and then yeah.
Would I know if dispel magic makes it go away?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Can someone dispel it?
Well, the
'Cause I
bone
have to
flies.
spell magic.
And then it just detonates. It isn't the usual, kind of heat. It is the very familiar infernal heat that just kind of ruptures out and then blasts a hole inside of the other side of the wall. And you can hear slight crumbling above you. As you're not in the most secured structure ever. This is still a somewhat handcrafted and very old ruin hallway that you're going through, and you can see some debris falling down from the roofs, but not enough to have caused a complete collapse. But you think, if a fireball or more gets cast here, it's probably quite dangerous. But the scorching blaze in the ruin is now gone. Seems to have been a one-time use thing. Now the road or the hallway is for your taking once again, and I assume you continue down this hallway.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to do that again. Sorry. Just wanted to save resources. Sorry.
I mean, that's fair.
And along you go, passing the destruction caused by this ruin, and it doesn't take long before you get to a T section. And it seems like this hallway splits into two. In the right one, you can see only like 30 feet down, it leads into a larger chamber, but the left one seems to go left about 20 feet, and then it kind of bends off to a corner, continuing even further inside of the ruin. What would you like to do?
I will use my snoot, boop, to smell out and try to figure out if there's a scent of creatures, humanoids, in either way, like which one we should go to.
Alright. Yeah, you can definitely make a perception check with advantage since you are a wolf.
Here's one.
Die.
Here's two. I'll take the first one, please.
A 28. Yes, you can definitely smell a extremely strong scent of iron coming from the one to your right. Like, almost like overwhelmingly strong scent of iron. There must be tons of blood inside of there. And you can also occasionally hear moans also coming from that direction with a roll of 28. And from the left side, you can somewhat smell the scent of also a bit of iron, but not nearly as strong as from the right side. But you can smell a faint scent of sulfur coming from the left side.
What do we do?
Are there any more sigils like these on the wall?
Look for traps.
Can definitely look for traps on this crossroads. Making them
Could I
Glamour, help me.
possibly use? Could I
Or-
possibly use survival with like this type of like protecting of like paths and things to go back to like when we would protect around my home?
Oh, yeah.
Of like where things could hide.
Definitely can use survival. It makes a lot of sense.
God, it doesn't want to roll. I may have to restart my browser or something. It really just doesn't want to roll.
And then obviously give myself guidance.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
17. Yeah, you
Right.
look around. You now know how they place these runes. You don't assume that they try to choose different methods every single time. That would be way too much work. Wow, that's
There it
actually
is.
one. But you get
Okay.
wow.
Can't find traps. Can't find traps.
But yeah, you both are pretty confident, at least within this T section, there aren't many
Mhm,
runes.
mhm.
Plus, if they put more of these runes, they would also risk collapsing themselves inside of here, which you don't know if that necessarily is their goal. But
Okay.
oh no, there's none.
So blood room and infernal room. One's food, one has to do with blood magic. I think we go to the blood magic one first. The sulfur. That's where more dangerous. And I'll head that way.
Yeah, okay.
So which way? The one that smells like sulfur or the one that smells like blood?
Sulfur.
Alright. You lead the group. I assume the rest follows.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you take the... actually, that would have been the right turn, but... so the other way around. So it's the left turn. So you take the left turn, which then after 20 feet you take another turn to the right. And then after 10 feet you already see another room that you kind of step inside of. And this one seems to also be a pentagonal shaped chamber, so there are 5 walls. And looking around, it seems to almost be like a small antechamber. It's not too large, maybe like 20 foot in radius, so 40 foot diameter. And you kind of clearly see in each wall there is a statue standing on like a pedestal made out of stone, carved out of stone. Everything inside of here now seems to be made of a similar black glass obsidian material. Irik, you instinctively just look to the ceiling. There you can see a large depiction of 5 draconic heads, though 2 of them are missing, seemingly broken probably. And as you can look at the 5 statues around you, you also notice that some of them are also broken. Not all of them are in complete, how should we call it? Well, they're not complete. Some of them has like, you can only literally see the legs, but there are different types of depictions there. That's all you get for a quick scan, but you don't see any other entry or exit from this room in particular. But you do see on different occasions text, little scriptures underneath some of these statues, and one scripture, as you look back at the entryway where you came from, is also one on the wall, which I don't believe any of you read Infernal at the moment. Obviously, Levi can translate.
Levi does.
Can you read this, please? Out loud.
Yes, of course.
And then he kind of first goes over the text that says, was written over the doorway, and it says,
Champions of Tiamat, may we find thine resting place. May we free thine sin. The heads that slumber shall soon awake. The head that thunders shall show our path.
and then he starts to walk to one of the statues. And you can see, now spending a little bit more time, one of the statues looks to be a somewhat like a draconic-like statue. It seems to be still almost complete, only one of its wings is cracked. It's like standing on its two hind legs with its arms kind of mightily to its sides, the wings somewhat like folded, almost as if it's a cloak. It has a rather flat face for a dragon, but extremely jagged long teeth and spikes that grow all across its body as it's standing on this pedestal. And he kind of goes towards it, and there's but a simple name written in Infernal, and he says,
"Here it says Astiax."
And then he goes to a different one. You can see a kind of serpent-like dragon kind of slinging around a sword. It has 4 wings and 4 arms that are holding the sword.
This one is called Valiax.
Then you can see they go towards a statue where there's only legs. The rest of the statue seems to have been broken or collapsed. But the legs seem humanoid. They're like humanoidish feet. And he says,
"Here it says Valiador."
And then the last one he goes to seems to be like a humanoid figure who's like wearing these very draped robes, 3 jagged horns that seem to be coming out of its head. And she goes to one of the texts and he says,
"This one says Melador."
and that's where we're gonna end today's session.
No.
Yes.
That him and this are connected. Next campaign, everything's connected. I'm just from the get-go.
Everything's
A rock
connected as it is. It's Jack.
Exactly. Just we meet the first person, they're connected to the last person. It's just
Gosh darn it.
A
And we
Melador.
sealed him away for eternity in all of
I
the
almost released him.
Yep. Yep.
Wait, you almost released him?
Holy
Yes.
If you didn't talk to me in Melador's dungeon, I was gonna release him.
Yep.
Now you remember
Yep.
when you met Future Fiera why she told you that Jade was so important for this next mission. Because she convinced you not to release Matador.
Oh, that's right, I did.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Jade did something right.
Mhm.
Yep.
But now,
Jade absolutely saved us.
Boy.
at least now you get a glimpse
Go
to
me.
what the campaign would have went to if you released Matador. So there you go.
Oh yeah.
God.
There. Holy fuck.
Tiamat champion, huh?
Oh, which
I had no idea.
by the
No
way,
idea.
What's
Where's
this?
it going?
What's? Oops.
very relevant. It will be available as a physical.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Oh wait, it's reversed for me. Doesn't matter. It says whatever.
No, it's
Oh,
it was
it's
fine
it's
for
right
us.
side
It was
us.
fine.
I know
Yeah,
it's
it was right side
but
for us.
in OBS it's because it takes my screen, so it is
Oh, yeah.
reversed for you
Oh.
guys. It's yeah. So all comes back to that, ain't it?
Holy crap.
Destroyed it.
The mastermind, Jack.
Yeah, it only takes like 128 episodes to kind of put all the threads back together. You know, easy peasy.
We're a little bit
Gosh
slow.
darn it.
Oh, we haven't put them back together. We're just holding 100 threads in our hands.
That's true.
Going,
Yeah.
ah!
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks to what? All we had to do was just put it all together.
Yeah.
It can fit in any schism.
Yeah. All right.
So can we get the names again? It was
yes.
Astiax,
I will write down.
Valiax,
The
Valiador,
Asti.
Melador.
Astia.
Was there
X. No, there are only 5. Oh yeah, the other
Okay,
one.
I have 4.
I have 4.
Yeah, there were 4, and the other one doesn't have a nameplate. Oh, I forgot to mention that. But it
Oh.
depicts a also dragon-like being, but it has a humanoid face, has only 3 wings, and it's also draped in robes. So it's the only one missing a nameplate.
Okay.
Astiax, Valley Axe, and then Valiador.
Wow. So this was a Tiamat thing from the get-go.
Oh my gosh, I got it all right except for the apostrophes. I wrote
Oh,
them
I
all
didn't put a
correctly
single apostrophe.
except for the apostrophes. I wrote them all correctly.
I mean, they are one of the more easier, I would say, from my crazy names I sometimes do.
Yeah. And hey, I still have my inspiration.
Hell yeah.
I didn't need to use it.
Yeah.
I still have mine.
Yes.
We're gonna need it.
Yeah, so next time you have the opportunity to get 10 temporary hit points instead. Okay, so yeah, once again,
Yep.
thank you for watching,
yep.
and we'll see you guys hopefully next time where let's see
Oh
how this
boy.
develops.
Ay,
Boy.
ay.
Bye.
This